Welcome to Stadium MK. The tension is almost unbearable. The stadium is unbelievable, and the dream of promotion is still very much possible. It's here, it's the big one, the one that all eyes will be on in the League Two realms and beyond today, as Mansfield Town, back to the place of haunting memories, will be hoping to create one of their greatest memories here at MK Dons. Over 3,500 Stags fans have made the journey down the M1 to see their side get close to the finish line as possible, certainly as close as they can anyway. No empty seats available in the away end as they tower above the left-hand side here of Stadium MK, which is befitting of a cup final in many ways. It is a fantastic stadium and the perfect venue for such an occasion. The left-hand side of the stadium is a sea of amber and blue. As I look around the other sides of the stadium, there's still plenty of empty seats around here, but not many empty seats in the away end, as Mansfield Town look to take one giant step towards the top three and stay there. Big task ahead today. They can't be daydreaming yet of fancy trips to Wigan, Charlton and Bristol Rovers and Reading, etc. just yet. The task is to beat one of the informed sides in League Two, who under Mike Williamson have consistently been on the tails of the top three and are clawing away at the heels of the Stags. MK Dons have a lot of league quality in their first season back in League Two, arguably man to man the best in the league and the going places under Mike Williamson, but a win for them gives them a bit of hope in finishing the top three. Anything less than that and hopefully Stags can gallop over the line on Tuesday night. 2 points separate them, and a win for the Stags will stretch it to 5 this afternoon. Could this be their year? They have to beat one of the best in the league out there today, and so that test is arguably one of the biggest tests that they've faced in a long time. The venue is perfect. It's a giant bowl fit for a cup final, haunted by the ghosts of the squad of 2019, who came so close and yet just missed out by a single goal. The Stags owe the Dons one, they're due one, and hopefully there's enough in the tank for one last big effort from Nigel Clough's side. You can't help but be inspired by all of this. The occasion, the venue, the noise. Only 3,500 tickets on sale, maybe a little bit more than that, but Mansfield Town could easily fill that side and then some. If you're not here, we wish you were here, and we hope we can bring you along on this journey with us. Popcorn at the ready. It's 4th versus 3rd, live on BBC Radio Nottingham, as the MK Dons mascot waves on the players, led out by the referee Benjamin Speedy. MK Dons wearing the traditional white shirt, white shorts and white socks. The towering figure of Aidan Flint leads out the Mansfield Town players wearing the traditional yellow shirt, blue shorts and yellow socks. Huge noise around Stadium MK, the vast majority coming from the away end. I can't stress it enough, it's a beautiful sight. All those Stags fans, many of which will have been here on that fateful day back in 2019, as Nigel Clough walks out with the players also. Not seen that before. He's out on the pitch applauding the Stags fans as well. That is a nice touch, very well reciprocated. It's all set up nicely, Gareth Jellyman.
It really is, and you can feel the atmosphere at the minute, and so I'm sure the players can as well. And it's, as we said pre-match, it's who's going to deal with that pressure better. Hopefully Stags can settle down as quickly as possible and just play their game, because they've been magnificent over the term of the season so far. And I think that's a huge thing, just trying to settle and feel comfortable in this atmosphere, because they won't have played in many situations like this and with the enormity of it. So, and I'm pretty certain MK Dons will as well. They must be feeling the pressure, expecting the crowd at home, and obviously trying to get back into League One at the first possible chance. So it's a very well balanced game, and I can't wait to see. Well, I can't wait for this. I'm so up for this.
I mean, we're on 3 o'clock already. The two sets of players just making their way onto the field of play, doing just their last couple of second warm-ups, as Aidan Flint and Dean Lewington get ready to exchange handshakes and the pre-match rituals and whatnot. But you can't help but be inspired by what's going on over on this left-hand side. The Stags fans, as soon as Aidan Flint marched over there and gave them a big round of applause, it was reciprocated and then some. I can see a few inflatable bananas over on that left-hand side as well. It's a sea of yellow, and again, maybe, just maybe, this trip to Stadium MK will be more fruitful than the previous several that have been here. Mansfield haven't won here ever. They've not been here too many times, but whenever they have come here, it's not had great memories or great reciprocations. But hopefully this time it can be different, and for many times this season it has felt very, very different as the sponsors make their way off the field of play. Dean Lewington, the MK Dons captain, Mr MK, who was here when they were AFC Wimbledon 20 plus years ago. He's been here a long time, 900 plus in all for the same club. That's some going. You have to say the loyalty here from him has been absolutely fantastic. And Mansfield Town will be getting ready for one final big push. It's not all doom and gloom if it doesn't happen today, but it's one of those where it could be a huge step towards that top 3. If Mansfield can do it, they stretch the lead to 5 points, and that will take some clawing back. As we're about to get underway, Will Swan in the centre circle, standing towards the Mansfield fans away to our left hand side. Fourth versus third, you're going to hear every kick on the home of live Nottinghamshire Sport. We'll keep you across on how Forest are getting on at home to Wolves. Big game at the City Ground, also big game at the Bescott Stadium. Walsall versus Notts County as Will Swan gets us underway. Ball played back to Elliot Hewitt. It's dinked forward for Will Swan. The ball falls to Ollie Clark in the centre circle, headed on by Lewis Bates on loan from Leeds. This time Hewitt gets there first and cuts it in for Hiram Boateng. Nice touch from Boateng, back to Ollie Clark. Mansfield getting a nice early feel for the ball as Aaron Lewis has it on the halfway line in the centre circle. So the Stags lineup is Pym in goal, back four from right to left of Hewitt, Flint, Barry at centre half and Williams at left back. Midfield, you've got Lewis Reed just in front of those, with Ollie Clark and Aaron Lewis in that midfield either side, with Hiram Boateng in the 10 and Lucas Akins and Will Swan up top as Mansfield try and win the ball back, unable to do so, and it goes out of play for a MK Dons throw as Elliot Hewitt thought he was going to get the ball back from Mike Williamson, didn't do it. Meanwhile, early goal, Manchester City 1, Luton 0. They've only just kicked off effectively. City 1, Luton 0, which is better news for Forest. Meanwhile, for MK Dons, they're unchanged from their win against Forest Green Rovers last Saturday. Michael Kelly in goal, back three of Dean Lewington, Jack Tucker and Warren O'Hara. Meanwhile, Daniel Harvey and Kyron Lofthouse, the wing-backs, Jack Payne and Lewis Bate in the middle, and a front three of Alex Gilby, Max Dean and Stephen Wayne. As the ball comes off Lucas Akins' toe, goes out of play for a MK Dons throw. It's only after a couple of minutes that MK Dons took the lead through David Wheeler. I'm going to remember that goal very well at that far end as Akins picks up the ball and plays it to Aaron Lewis. Goes to ground as Akins, and Benjamin Speedy blows his whistle and gives Stads a free kick. 90 seconds gone. Your early thoughts, please, Gareth Jellyman.
Well, it's been intriguing, really. I've just been trying to see how each team's setting up. Obviously, MK are setting up with a 3-5-2, and it looks pretty much that Stags are trying to marry him up in midfield, just playing man for man, but then it's leaving big spaces into the MK front men. So that'll be intriguing to see if we can try and do something there, try and free up Reed just to sit as a buffer in front. But I think they started well when they've been in possession. Stags, they've moved the ball around really quickly, intelligent play. But this is their first test of getting a good quality ball into a dangerous area.
Well, here's Aaron Lewis with that free kick, fires it into the air. It's headed away. It might come up for George Williams, the former MK man, playing at left back as he lets that one just go out of play for a Stags throw. Gets ready to take it quickly, but it's just been told to hold his horses on Grand National Day. But there's been an early goal already at the Bescott Stadium. Notts County leading Walsall by 1-0. Macaulay Langstaff with the early goal inside 2 minutes there. Full live commentary on that one on 103.8 FM as Hiram Boateng has his back to goal and he turns it down the line, does Elliot Hewitt. It's just behind Will Swan. Back to the goalkeeper it goes from Warren O'Hara. This time it's the loose kick from the goalkeeper Kelly as Boateng picks it up and finds Aaron Lewis, goes past his man and past another one and helps it on to Elliot Hewitt. Stags starting this first half pretty well, actually, keeping hold of the ball through to Aaron Lewis, who left it for Swan and goes out of play for an MK Dons throw. 3 minutes gone, 0-0.
Now they've settled really well, Stags. When they're in possession they look really, really sharp, popping one touch passes round corners. Unfortunately Aaron Lewis let that one go, but however we've regained possession. We've got a throw in just outside the 18-yard box. Elliot
Hewitt right in front of us here in the press box here at Stadium MK, ready for this throw. He's actually swapped the ball for another one, and Elliot Hewitt could wind up a long one into the penalty area. It's great to see him back down that right hand side in his familiar right back role as he throws it down the line to Lucas Akins, who battles away and tries to keep hold of it, and it's really well marshalled by Dean Lewington, battling away with Lucas Akins, 39 years old.
He's done ever so well. I remember, he's that old. I remember playing against him many times. So the longevity is absolutely frightening, really. But you would say he's playing the left-sided centre half, and you'd think, oh, there's going to be lots of space down there, and someone with a bit of pace like Will Swan running down the side of him, it could cause him a lot of trouble. But as I say, he's there for a reason. He's fantastic positionally, and he's always been a fantastic player.
Dean Lewington taking that free kick quickly then after Aaron Lewis's foul on Max Dean. MK Dons winning 8 of their last 10 here at Stadium MK. They're without a win in 7 games under Graham Alexander, which got him the dismissal. Since then, Mike Williamson's come in. They've won 18, drawn 4 and lost 7 as the shouts of yellows comes from the away end over on this left-hand side. Great to see as it's back with Dean Lewington down this left-hand side. It's cool and calm at the moment from MK Dons as it's drilled high forward. One for Mansfield to try and win. Jordan Barry stuck a leg out at it. Rusty Pym came off his line very quickly and gathers it at the first time of asking. 5 gone, 0-0 between 4th and 3rd. 2 points separate them. Mansfield Town could stretch that to 5 with potentially only 3 games left to go. MK Dons after today will only have 2 games left to try and make up that gap, and you'd fancy Mansfield Town from then on to push on and get into that top 3 and stay there. Long way to go yet today. Still quite a few games left in this season as Aidan Flint has it on the edge of his own 18-yard box, wearing the captain's armband as he fires that one down the right-hand side, looking for Lucas Akins. The goalkeeper Michael Kelly comes off his line and gathers it. 16 appearances for Michael Kelly, 4 of those have got clean sheets on them as well. Early goal at the Keepmoat Stadium. Doncaster Rovers leading Accrington by a 1-0. Mansfield playing them next on Tuesday night, and how big a game could that be depending on what happens today? Who knows? As off goes Warren O'Hara, the Irishman, who sends it across this left-hand side for Lewis Bates on loan from Leeds, as it's stepped in and well won back nearly by Ollie Clark, but he's given the ball away here as it's sent goalwards. It might deflect into the penalty area. It's a good little touch from Daniel Harvey cutting in on that left-hand side. A little bit of alarm bells ringing from Mansfield Town. There's Lucas Akins, steers it back to Hiram Boateng. Ball around the back looking for Will Swan. The goalkeeper comes off his line and gathers it. It was a lovely scoop, lovely run from Will Swan also. And Kelly just comes off his line very quickly, read the danger well, and bowls it out short to Warren O'Hara, the Irishman, former Brighton man, making his 150th league appearance of his career this afternoon. 24 years old. He's having a very good season. That's our MK Dons, but Mansfield just having a slightly better on. 2 points clear. It's match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. 6.5 minutes gone. MK Dons 0, Mansfield Town 0. Big game at the top of League 2. We'll also keep you across on the other scores from elsewhere in League 2. Plenty of permutations today from this game, as it's a lovely turn from Max Dean as he looks to bend that one into the top corner, but he completely mishit it. It was a lovely turn to turn past Jordan Barry on the edge of the box, almost Bergkamp-like, and unfortunately the finish was it was more like me really.
It was very ambitious. He could have tried to I think it was Aidan Flynn. He faced Aidan Flynn up, but he's tried to bend it round him from about 25-30 yards. Very ambitious, but it was a great turn, to be fair to him. Stags looked, well, as I say, they looked to be going one man for man pretty much all across the midfield, and the 2 strikers are splitting when not in possession, but then it's leaving the centre half O'Hara with lots and lots of time, and as a couple of minutes ago he's just ran right through the middle like the Red Sea parted, so that's something to keep an eye on.
It's not the best ball from Alex Gilby. Sends that straight back to his centre half in Jack Tucker. I don't think he appreciated that one at all as he heads it away. It might fall for Will Swan, who's just had it nicked off him in the end by Jack Payne in the middle of midfield, and it's played back to Jack Tucker, the former Gillingham man, as it's rolled through into the midfield. Bit of space here for Stephen Wen. Rolling back to the right-hand side for Kieran Lofthouse. Lofthouse turns and manages to find his man, and the ball is switched over to this left-hand side for Dean Lewington. A smattering of applause from the MK Dons fans as they find themselves in a little bit of space. 8 gone, 0-0 here in arguably one of the biggest games in League 2 at the moment. 4th versus 3rd as the ball comes into the area for Alex Gilby, being marshalled by Ollie Clark as Gilby tries to keep it in play. Does exactly that, although over on the far side it goes out of play for a goal kick. Stockport County leading Morecambe by a 1-0. Win today and they're up effectively no matter what happens here today. I mean, they won't be crowned as champions yet, but if they do win today, then they will be playing League 1 football next season. It is that time of year.
You can see 2 very, very good teams on show here. They both look so comfortable in possession.
They really do, as the former MK man George Williams plays it through to Will Swan, cuts it past his man and sends it all the way across to Ollie Clark over on this centre circle, as he's got Elliot Hewitt with him, as Hewitt drives that one in towards the feet of Hiram Boateng. Return ball didn't quite find Elliot Hewitt's feet, and it's picked off well by Dan Harvey. Here's Dean Lewington back to his centre half in Warren O'Hara. Back to Jack Tucker. Back three at the moment. MK Dons looking relatively comfortable, but Mansfield getting some good moments of possession just outside the MK 18-yard box.
I think they just need to be patient today. I do think MK will probably have the majority of possession, but they should be quite happy with that, because Mansfield can be deadly on the break, and it hasn't come off just yet, but I do think that they do look dangerous in possession, quite sharp. Stags, when they get in possession and it's a quick transition and they move the ball and get the ball into Aikins and Swan, they do look threatening. They do look very threatening indeed. There's a couple of bits of quick feet from Will Swan, but MK Dons have the ball inside the centre circle after George Williams fouled his man. It's rolled through. Elliot Hewitt equal to it as he plays that one away towards Lucas Aikins on halfway. It looked like it was fouled on halfway, but nothing given by the referee as Aikins steers it back, but he gives the ball away to Stephen Wern as he runs into the challenge of Aaron Lewis, and that one goes out of play for an MK Dons throw. 10 minutes gone, 0-0 as the Mansfield Town fans away to our left hand side. At the moment they are not making as much noise as they were pre-kick-off, but I'd imagine there's a few fingernails being chewed on over on that left hand side. Yeah, definitely. You can feel the pressure in the ground. You really can. MK Dons have probably over the last 5 minutes have had a lot of possession. They've kept the ball really well, fashioned half chance, but nothing too clear cut at the minute. I think Stags should be fairly happy with how they've started. They're quite happy to give up possession when MK Dons are in their defensive third. But you just got to switch on. This is one of these games you feel really comfortable because everything's happening in front of you, and within a second a ball goes in behind you, and if you're switched off, then it could be costly. So it's going to be a game where you really got to concentrate today. It feels like neither side wants to blink. Here's Dean Lewington down this left hand side, about 35 yards from goal. Still got it as Lewington as he plays that one into the area for Lewis Bates. Here's Jack Payne in the middle of the park, gets the return ball as it's switched out again to Dean Lewington, who rolls past the challenge of Aaron Lewis, plays that one into the midfield for Jack Payne again. And here is Alex Gilby back across to Harvey, hits the ball against Elliot Hewitt, comes off in last, and I think that's gone for a throw perhaps. Throwing right on the corner flag, right by the corner flag indeed, as Dean Lewington, 39 years old. You forget that he's 14 years older than some of the players here, in fact more so when you look at young Will Swan and various others. 16 years between them. That's crazy. What an interesting battle. Yeah, that's what I mean. And you would think, try and exploit that, but however, as I say, he's a wily fox. He is. He certainly is. As it's throw coming in from the hands of Lewington, sent into the area. Aidan Flint and Hiram Boateng nearly getting each other's ways. Jordan Barry trying to play that one out from the back. They can't be doing that there, and they lose it to Mansfield Town. Here's Jack Payne sent into the area. Goals out of play for a goal kick. They can't be doing that. The Mansfield Town, it's very much a case of if it's in your area, at your feet, you clear it. And as I say, nothing changes. It shouldn't change. So I'm pretty certain he wouldn't usually take a touch there. You just got to clear, taking a touch in your 6-yard box, and then he's having to hurry a pass, playing it out centrally to the 18-yard box where Aaron Lewis is under pressure. I'm sure he won't want to be receiving many more balls there. Definitely not. As Christy Pym boots the ball downfield, Lucas Aikins battling away. Lewington wins that header as it's onto the edge of the MK Dons box. Back to the goalkeeper it goes. Fourth versus third. He's given the ball away as the goalkeeper. It's a bit of a nervy moment from Michael Kelly. Just lost concentration just for a split second. It looked like it went right underneath his foot. Nearly went out of play, possibly for a corner kick, as Barry sends that one back, and he's given the ball away to the one man you don't want to in Max Dean. Dean down the right hand channel, turns past Aidan Flint, beds it towards the top corner. That's a fantastic goal from Max Dean to give MK Dons the lead early in this game. 13 minutes gone, 4 in his last 3. Made that 5 in his last 4 for Max Dean. It was given away by Mansfield. Dean cut inside past Aidan Flint, got on towards his left foot and curls an absolute peach beyond Christy Pym, and the pendulum swings towards MK Dons. They lead by a goal to 0. Yeah, Jordan Bowery getting caught out again there. He'd made a little mistake previously with his pass inside, receiving the ball on the halfway line, and a bad touch really, which made him face his own goal, and he's tried to play it all the way back to Christy Pym. However, he's played it onto the attacker who sort of read it, and then he's through. Dean's through, and he's one-on-one with Aidan Flynn, and to be fair, he's just cut inside Flynn quite easily and bent a beautiful beautiful left-footed shot into the top corner. Great goal. Can't take that away from him, but this is where we need to react now.
We're back on the way then as Will Swan gets the ball back to Lewis Reed, across to George Williams. Hopefully that will inject a little bit of life into Mansfield Town. Now, they'd started the first half pretty well up until that point, and they very nearly got themselves a corner literally less than a minute prior to that, but again it was a loose touch from Bowery which allowed Max Dean, probably the one man you don't want it to fall to. Here's Ollie Clark trying to skip past Lewis Bate, but he loses out. Meanwhile, off goes Jack Payne through the midfield as he turns, and Aaron Lewis trying to snap away at his heels. Here is Lewis Bate, the former Leeds United man, so he's on loan from Leeds. Max Dean used to be at Leeds United as a youngster. As the ball given away, surely that's a foul on Lucas Akins, who's completely rolled over on his ankle there, and this time Warren O'Hara knocks the ball back to Dean Lewington and gets it from the goalkeeper down on this left hand side, and the volume's gone up a bit here at Stadium MK, scoring early just as they did 5 years ago. But again, Mansfield Town need to respond. 15 minutes gone, MK Dons 1, Mansfield Town 0. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham, back with you on Tuesday night. I'm sure that goal will be very well received over at Stockport County also, perhaps, as here come MK Dons again with Lewis Bate.
They look so comfortable in midfield, MK Dons. The three, they are quite diminutive in size, but however they're full of running off the ball and receiving the ball, and they're so comfortable in possession. It's going to be a tough afternoon for Stags, and to get yourself back
lots of energy from MK Dons, and Kyron Lofthouse epitomising that as he glides through the midfield with his bright orange boots, goes to ground and gets a free kick in a very good area. And Mansfield Town need to stay switched on and need to get through this tough period after conceding. That's really important here. Obviously, when you concede, you always say 5 minutes. You've just got to get back to basics. Make sure you're not going to concede again, because teams have a tendency then that you switch off. You're a little bit down and you concede, and before you know it, you can concede again, and then there's a mountain to climb. So just making sure that you defend this, making sure you win in the first contact here. Jack Payne standing over it, hands on hips. It's about 25 yards from goal or so, right hand side. There's plenty of players in the wall to try and block it if they can. Plenty of big names at the back as well to head this one away if possible, but we know the quality that they've got. They've got Dean Lewington standing inside or just outside the centre circle. Lewis Bate also on the edge of the 18-yard box, but Jack Payne and Kyron Lofthouse standing over it. The referee Ben Speedy just checking that everything's all okay in the penalty area. It's either going to be the left foot of Jack Payne on loan from Charlton, or the right foot of the Barnsley loanee Kyron Lofthouse. Tense moment here at Stadium MK. 16 minutes gone, as it will be Jack Payne with his left foot, fires it into the penalty area. Plenty of venom on it as well, and it took a little nick on its way through. Nobody was pointing for a goal kick.
It looked like it come off Ollie Clark. I thought Ollie Clark had done well there. He got into a good position. I don't think anyone was really expecting the shot, but he did. He's whipped it in with some venom, but I think Ollie Clark half read it, and he's got himself across into a good position and got a good block on it, but he gave a goal kick.
Will Swan loses the ball on halfway after getting the goal kick straight from Christy Pym. Here's Alex Gilby down this left hand side, runs into the area, goes to ground, tries to buy a free kick. Ollie Clark just making sure that
really good defending that.
Had
stepping across him, using his strength.
Had to get that, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Wrexham leading Forest Green by 1-0. So at the moment, Stockport and Wrexham having a very lovely afternoon for the time being, but MK Dons meanwhile are putting a bit of a spanner in the works, it seems, as George Williams tries to glide past a couple of players. This time it goes off George Williams and out of play for an MK Dons throw. Elliot Lee with the goal for Wrexham against Forest Green, who you'd imagine if they don't win today, then it's a long way back.
It is. There's a mountain to climb if they don't today, so they'll be giving it everything, and I do think they're a half decent side. I know the league table doesn't say that, but every time I've seen them play, they do try and play the right way, and they have got some good players.
Here's Barry back across to Aidan Flint. Flint down this right hand side for Elliot Hewitt. Down the line he goes to Will Swan. Heavy touch from him as he has it nicked off him by Dean Lewington. Lewington is adamant that it came off Swan. It certainly sounded like it from here.
It did. It came off his back.
Linesman on this near side says no, it's a Stag's throw, and he's getting an absolute earful from the 39-year-old. He's probably older actually than the linesman.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Here's Elliot Hewitt with that throw. Throws it short to Lucas Akins, who helps it on for Aaron Lewis. He didn't quite want it there, and off it goes to Kyron Lofthouse. Ball round the back, looking for the energetic Max Dean, as Jordan Barry, taking absolutely no chances, sends the ball away, but it'll fall to Kyron Lofthouse under pressure from Aaron Lewis on halfway. Lewis does well to win the ball back. He's done well as Aaron Lewis to keep hold of it and roll it back to George Williams. They wanted a free kick, MK Dons, not going to get one, as Lewis Reed sends it all the way across to Aidan Flint. Flint still got it out of his feet. He's looking for the run of somebody. Here's Elliot Hewitt. Nice ball in field, or so we thought. It came off Daniel Harvey last, Scotsman in his fourth season at MK Dons. But again, Mansfield just...
I'd like to see Mansfield try and take the sting out of the game a bit.
They've been the ball forward for Will Swan if he can keep it in play, and he does exactly that. Fires that one into the penalty area, and it's stabbed clear. Didn't look like Will Swan was going to get there. Elliot Hewitt chests it down and turns and looks to go back to Aidan Flint. He's done well, has Elliot Hewitt. His second start in a Mansfield Town shirt, but he's lasted a lot longer than he did at Wrexham after that injury from James McLean. Here's Christy Pym, dinks it down the line for Elliot Hewitt, who'll let that one go for an MK Dons throw. He's not that tall.
Yeah, I'd like just to see him just try and take the sting out a little bit, just get a moment where they're keeping possession, because at the minute I don't know if it's because they're one down, but we are trying to force things a little bit. Not saying hitting long balls and that, but everything seems to be forward. Just keep it for a little bit, just take the sting out and then get your foothold back in it, because that's what MK are doing. They're just keeping the ball, look really comfortable in possession. And then they're trying to thread it.
Here's Aaron Lewis trying to touch that one back to Hiram Boateng, and off they go again. MK Dons, they look really good on the ball, as off goes Jack Payne on the edge of the penalty area, steers it out to the right hand side for Kyron Lofthouse. Ball into the area, it's steered away by Reed, who takes no chances and clears that one downfield up to Lucas Akins, who does well to keep hold of it. Brings in George Williams, a return ball finding Lewis Reed. This is good play from Mansfield Town, as Aaron Lewis has it and plays it across to the right hand side. Mansfield getting out of a good area in a good way. It's two very good footballing sides at the moment, and Mansfield is showing off a bit of their skills, although as I say that, Elliot Hewitt gives the ball away cheaply in midfield. MK Dons having the upper hand on the scoreboard and on the pitch as well.
Yeah, they are. They're just seem a little bit more composed, and they're not rushed in what they're doing. As I say, the centre half has it an awful lot, O'Hara, and it's a case of then Will Swan will come in, and then that'll sort of trigger MK midfielders to make a move, and he rolls it into them, and there always seems to be a man spare at the minute.
Here's Lewington back to the left hand side for Alex Gilby, who turns and plays that one all the way back to Ryan O'Hara, the Irishman, former Brighton man, as he does quite a few players have been doing a lot actually in this game. They just seem to be standing on the ball inside their own half, looking for an option, and when one isn't coming, they're sort of going, okay, we'll just keep the ball here then for now.
You said
can't score from there.
No, that's what you said. Like the stag midfielders are going man for man with the free there. So the spare man is the MK centre half O'Hara, but then he's waiting for one of the Stags players to come and close him down, and that'll free up another man, and that's what they're looking to do. They do it really well, if I'm honest. They do it ever so well.
Here's Dean Lewington on the halfway line, back to Warren O'Hara, and again Mansfield trying to apply a little bit of pressure, and it just gives MK Dons a bit of a shove in the arm really to get the ball away where they can. But at the moment MK Dons just happy to keep hold of it and move forward very, very slowly, almost American football like, as they try and gain some yards over the halfway line, as Warren O'Hara looking to play it forward, goes backwards to Lewis Bates after an exciting sort of 22 and a half minutes or so. Not too much action really on the pitch. It's just been a case of MK Dons keeping it inside their own half, and Mansfield Town, I mean, how do they approach it?
I think I always say Stags are so good out of possession. That's what really impresses me. However, it seems to they're changing here. They're sitting off, and I say they're going man for man in the midfield, where usually they do a high press, and look, the centre halves, the centre forwards, the Stag centre forwards are both split, and then they ease their way in, where usually it's full pelt in, and then the rest of the team reacting off them, but they're not doing that here, and I think that's a cagey way to play the game. I suppose it's alright when it's 0-0. However, as 1-0 down, I know we don't have to force anything yet, but the longer this goes on, I don't know, they just look so comfortable in possession. The centre half has it, and then as soon as
ball given away,
that happens,
and Mansfield Town get a very, very cheap throw, which they'll take any day of the week. It was Jack Tucker who...
It was a slip, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a slip when the ball was rolled towards him. But
he'll have the ball to go for a throw. Aaron Lewis with the return ball to George Williams. Here's Aaron Lewis. Maybe now Mansfield Town can...
just keep hold of the ball for a little bit and drag them out, and then...
Here's Aidan Flint looking to send that one around the back for Will Swan. It's a touch from Dean Lewington to make sure that went no further than just outside the Stags MK Dons 18 yard box.
A little bit wider there. Swan's in a little bit wider because he wasn't quite getting it. He only just got to that ball, Lewington.
Literally got a toenail to it as it's back with Hiram Boateng looking to fire at the one towards Aaron Lewis, who in turn spins the ball around for Lucas Akins. Hiram Boateng touches that one back to Lewis Reid, who doesn't quite want it there. Barry doesn't want to give it away there either, as Max Dean causing problems as Flint dinks one into the channel looking for Lucas Akins. Keeper comes off his line. Akins will try and get there first, goes to ground, and it will go out of play for a goal kick.
I just don't think that we need to force that ball, because Aidan Flint's got it just near the halfway line, just in his own half, and Hewitt's just to his right hand side. He could have just played it into him. I don't know if that's a ploy, because it's Lewington, and to be fair, he does look like he's lacking a little bit of pace there. Akins got in easily and behind him. However, the ball wasn't quite good enough, and he's just gone up for a goal kick.
Well, off go MK Dons again, but Mansfield win it back as Ollie Clark steps in and pokes it back to Jordan Barry. Barry finding Lewis Reid. Reid looking to bring the ball out from the back where he can, in a little bit of space as he fires that one into towards the midfield for Lucas Akins, headed away there by Tucker. This time it's played back down the line. Reid should get there first, and Nigel Clough just telling him to let that one go, and just telling his players to calm down a little bit and not get sucked into the occasion. Great stadium, you have to say it. MK Dons, a stadium like this shouldn't be in this league, that is for sure. No disrespect to League 2, but you look at the quality that they've got here, and again, it's a great occasion and a great stadium to come to, and hopefully more of those next season if Stags do make it to League 1. But at the moment they have work to do here at Stadium MK, as Hiram Boateng leaves one in on Daniel Harvey, who didn't appreciate that one, and it'll be a free kick to MK Dons. Let's have a look at the other scores in League 2. Plenty of course going on, with plenty of stipulations across the leagues already. Colchester beating Crawley by a goal to nil. Playoff chasing Crawley, that is. Goalless between Crewe and Grimsby. Doncaster 2-0 up against Accrington. Gillingham 0, Barrow 0, but Barrow have had a man sent off as Lewis Reid steps in and wins it back. Lucas Akins unable to get there. Played down the line for Elliot Hewitt. Didn't quite want it there, did Elliot Hewitt? I think they thought Lucas Akins was going to get a free kick. Doesn't get one, and it'll be a throw to MK Dons. Newport 1, Tranmere 1, Salford 1, Bradford 0. League leaders Stockport County beating Morecambe by a goal to nil. Wrexham also beating Forest Green by 2 goals to nil. Notts County leading Walsall also 1-0 there on 103.8 FM, and it's Swindon 0, AFC Wimbledon 1. Meanwhile here, 26 and a half gone on match day from BBC Radio Nottingham, as Lucas Akins tries to apply the press. Ball dinked downfield. George Williams with the header on towards Will Swan. It smashes him in the chest. Wasn't able to keep hold of it. Late challenge from Will Swan, and that'll be a free kick and a booking.
It's better though. They managed to contain MK, and they went backwards and backwards and backwards, and the pressure, better pressure at what we're used to seeing there from the forward players and the midfielders, and the ball went back to the keeper, and then he had nothing else but to hit a long ball, and then we were picking the second ball. It was just unfortunate Will Swan's touch eluded him there, but yeah, that's better, and I think we need to do that, put them under a little bit more pressure. We're just a bit too passive at the minute.
Free kick to MK Dons just outside the centre circle. I'll give you a rundown of the Premier League scores in just a moment. Not too much to talk about in terms of goals, as the ball turned around the back. Ollie Clark should get there. Christy Pym very quickly off his line. It's ready to bowl one short, but he's not really got any yellow shirts to throw it to at the minute. Christy Pym wearing all pink, highlighter pink that is, as he goes short to Aidan Flint on the edge of the 18-yard box. Here's Hiram Boateng running into a bit of a cul-de-sac and giving the ball away, as Aidan Flint has to step in and help him out, as Dean Lewington leaves an arm out on Lucas Akins. I think that's more of a case of shielding the ball, but it's one of those where you're thinking maybe a free kick.
Yeah, maybe. If the ball hadn't gone out of play, I would definitely reckon it would have been.
In fact, it's still not gone out of play yet. In fact,
2 on the pitch.
If the ball eventually goes out of play, and it will be a MK Dons throw. At the moment, MK Dons just controlling proceedings for the time being, but Mansfield Town just need to, I suppose, from the outside looking in, you just want them just to put a little bit of pressure on this back three really, and force them into doing something, whereas at the moment MK Dons seem to have just a lot of time and a lot of space to be able to do things, as Jordan Barry Thought maybe he got the foul from Max Dean, but Dean gets back to his feet. One or two MK Dons fans near us wanting one, but here is Max Dean on the edge of the penalty area, runs into Lewis Reed, goes into the box, and it's cleared away by Jordan Barry. Lucas Aikens trying to get there first. It's headed up in the air. Will Swan trying to get hold of the second ball as it drops into the midfield. Will Swan has to be careful because he's on a yellow card, and this time it's played back to Lewis Brait, who turns and sends that one all the way back. Meanwhile, Swan trying to win the ball back. There's one or two players throwing themselves to the floor rather theatrically here. Bit of underhand tactics being deployed by Mike Williamson, but the referee's not buying any of it, that is for sure, which is good to see.
Yeah, he hasn't given an awful lot, to be fair to him. He's let the game flow quite well, so he's had a good start to the game, the referee.
Ball down the line to Kyron Lofthouse into the penalty area. Aaron Lewis has slipped. Oh dear me!
Nah, it's a free kick.
I thought maybe he just handled the ball as he fell to the ground.
No, but it was quite obvious. The winger ran across the back of his feet and clipped his feet, and he fell on the ball and he just picked it up. It's a definite free kick.
Okay, Mansfield trying to play it through to Will Swan. It's not the best ball from Aaron Lewis. He gave him a lot to do, but all of a sudden that has just sparked the game into life as Elliot Hewitt steps in and wins it back. Throws it back across towards Will Swan. It's 4 versus 3 here.
Go at him.
Off goes Will Swan into the area. Looks to pull it back across the face of goal. It nearly fell to Aaron Lewis on the edge of the box. Will Swan will keep it in play. Down that right hand side, Huan Boateng wants it in the channel, but Will Swan pokes it forward into that channel. Boateng trying to pull it across the face of goal.
Yes!
Mansfield equalise. It's Elliot Hewitt. My word! My word! What a return for Mansfield Town. Elliot Hewitt had stayed up from the earlier attack, stayed in the penalty area. Great ball from Boateng at the near post, and Elliot Hewitt was there, right place, right time to score his first goal of the season. A fairy tale moment for Mansfield Town. They've equalised at Stadium MK. It's MK Dons 1, Mansfield Town 1.
Yeah, it was the first real entry into the 18-yard box, but Boateng managed to get the wrong side of his marker, and then Will Swan just slid one down the side of Lewington. He's got to the byline. It looked like he's not going to get it across because his marker got back with him, but he was on the byline. He's put it across the box, and there Elliot, who was steaming in, was there to put it in the goal. Great goal. It started with Hewitt, it finished with Hewitt. Yeah.
What a moment that is for the season. He's been out for 9, 10, 11 months with an ACL injury, and he's got his first Mansfield Town goal of the season on arguably their most important day. 1-1 match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. Game on here at Stadium MK, and now that should light the blue touch paper, ready for the next hour of the game. Yeah,
let's see how MK react to that, because obviously Stags had a setback, but they've shown good character to come back into it. What about MK Dons?
Elliot Hewitt goes and slides in, and there's a bit of afterwards here as Ollie Clark goes down as well. Dan Harvey giving Ollie Clark a big shove. I don't think he could really get out of the way, could Ollie Clark, as Elliot Hewitt and Ollie Clark are being spoken to. He's booked Ollie Clark, and he's not booked Dan Harvey.
That's frustrating, really frustrating, because he's had a little sort of half a kick out at Ollie Clark there. I know Ollie Clark was disrupting the play a little bit, so maybe if he deserves one, then Harvey definitely deserved one there. So an interesting decision.
Free kick to MK Dons. 32 gone. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. It's MK Dons 1, Mansfield Town 1. Big game at the top of League 2. Stockport winning and Wrexham are winning, so they're doing their bit at the moment, but Mansfield Town, as things stand, will stay in the top 3 for now.
Yeah,
here's Warren Ahura.
Yeah, as we said, it's a do not lose game.
Ball towards the back post, kept in play as well, or only just, I think, as off goes Max Dean inside the channel. Still got it as Max Dean pulls it back to Lewis Bait looking to turn and play that one back to the left hand side for Dan Harvey. Mansfield just throwing bodies towards the ball and making sure that they can't get into the box, but it will come back. Just dink back in towards Max Dean towards the back post, volley back up in the air. In fact, it's cleared more than anything. Aaron Lewis should get there and try and head that one away, which he does. Not very far though, as it comes all the way back to the halfway line. All of a sudden Mansfield are pressing as much as they can to try and put MK Dons under pressure. It's very much a case of, right, we've equalised now what have you got for us, as Clark steps in and tries to win it back, darts down the right hand side. Will Swan could be in here as it's played round the back, looking for Will Swan. Not the best ball, as Dean Lewington plays that one back to the goalkeeper, who sends that one left footed downfield. Reed with the touch and control, lost it for Aaron Lewis. Lewis across again, looking to turn one way then the other. He loses it on halfway, pokes it forward looking for Lucas Aikens, but The referee allowing play to go on, and actually it's well won back by George Williams down the left hand side. Akins wants it in the channel, still got it, George Williams, as he keeps hold of it. Left hand side, Aaron Lewis on the edge of the box finds Lewis Reed. Here is Reed still about 35 yards from goal as he switches the play to Elliot Hewitt, the goal scorer. Who'd have thought it, as it's down the line to Hiram Boateng, who stayed onside. In the channel he goes, still got it as Hiram Boateng, the former MK Dons man. And here is Hewitt back to Hiram Boateng, shaping to cross, does cross. It's a deep one, and it will bounce and go for a goal kick.
Well, it's an intriguing battle, isn't it?
It certainly
Stags definitely come back into it. I think that goal's given them a huge amount of confidence. They looked a little bit wary of how well MK Dons were moving the ball and playing through the lines. But yeah, got that goal, and then as I say, playing their sort of normal game where they're the high press. Sometimes they're getting out, but it's putting them under a little bit more pressure.
Well, it's kind of forcing MK Dons to play now rather than dawdling on the ball that they were doing for large spells of this first half.
I could go out there and do that with the amount of time they had on the ball. I could do the job that the centre half was doing. He was just standing, he could do whatever he wanted. He was orchestrating everything because he wasn't under any pressure. However,
good challenge from Aaron Lewis. Sorry, Gareth, you were saying. I thought it was going to be won back by Mansfield, but not the case.
But it's good that they're hunting impacts again now, and they're really putting them under pressure.
Stags hunting impacts like wolves. As Ollie Clark takes it off Aidan Flint. Didn't want it there, did the Stags captain. Him and Ollie Clark just sort of apologised to each other. This time Aidan Flint tells Christy Pym to go right dead centre up to Will Swan, win that second ball as it's headed up in the air by Dean Lewington. Dan Harvey under the pressure from Elliot Hewitt. Harvey back to Lewington, who steers that one downfield onto the feet of Alex Gilby under pressure from Clark. It goes out of play off the Stags captain as Nigel Clough is bellowing at Will Swan, saying come on, get in those channels and win those first balls.
Yeah, I think he wants to see a definite attempt to try and win the header, not just one of those half-hearted ones you've sort of jumped for it. Put him under pressure, because you can, even if you don't win it, you may get the second one, you might knock it down into the path of one of your players, but put him under a little bit of pressure.
10 to go before half-time. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. Still 1-0 to Notts County away at Walsall. Meanwhile, it's still goalless at the City Ground between Forest and Wolves. We'll be heading there at half-time with Charlie Slater to give you a rundown of the other scores in League Two and what they all mean. Nice ball from Lewis Reed, mind you, but Hiram Boateng wasn't quite ready for it as it's played through again to Max Dean, who glides past Hiram Boateng. He's a slippery customer, isn't he? As Max Dean, he's very difficult to get hold of as he throws a bit of a strop as he was sent tumbling to the floor. Here's Karen Lofthouse, ball into the area, and that was all the way through the 6-yard box, and now to play for his Stags slow deep inside their own half.
Yeah, I think every time I've seen them play, he's had a really good game. Lofthouse on the right wing back, he's really direct, and I think Williams will be tested today, but he stuck with him there. But Lofthouse, it was a fantastic ball all the way across the 6-yard box. Luckily no one was there to get on the end of it.
1-1 match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. Match night back with you on Tuesday. Big game at the One Call Stadium as Mansfield host Accrington. Plenty of permutations from that one should they get a positive result here today. At the moment they've got a point, but ideally they could be looking for 3 as the ball drops around the back of Jordan Barry. Has to send that one clear. Referee's still not stopped play yet. 1 or 2 players still down on the floor, Stephen Wayne being one of them, but they can still keep playing on. Can Mansfield Town. No sportsmanship here, that is for sure. Not with this history, as it's back with Lewis Reed and Stephen Wynn.
Miraculously, he's up and he's back moving around freely.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Always seems to be the way.
It is.
Here's Lewis Reed. There's the centre circle. Wants the run from Will Swan and gets that run as well if he can keep it in play. It's a lovely touch from Will Swan down the right-hand side, up against Dean Lewington, ready to take him on, pulls it back into the area to Akins, pokes it back towards Ollie Clark, who lets fly! Away with the goal. Here's Hiram Boateng, deflects, and wide of the mark it goes. Goal kick. Clark with an absolute screamer. Rattles the crossbar, it's still shaking. Great play from Swan down the right hand side. His pullback found Clark, edge of the box, smashes it against the crossbar, just tried to bend it, left footed, keeper well beaten. Sadly the crossbar is the difference so far, and it stops Mansfield from going 2-1 ahead here at Stadium MK.
Unreal strike, fantastic play. I think they give it away.
Mansfield win it back. Here's Lewis Reed trying to get the return ball. He's still got it as Reed pokes into the channel towards Will Swan, turns it onto Will's, his left foot goes to ground and waved away by the penalty. The penalty shouts are waved away. Meanwhile, George Williams steps in and wins it back. It's fiery now as Williams gets a shirt pull. Free kick to Mansfield Town, and
the intensity's getting up.
There was a heavy police presence on the pit outside the stadium, and given the way the game is going and the history between these two, you can kind of understand why, because it's getting tense on the pitch and it's just adding more fuel to this fiery encounter.
Yeah, I'll just go back to that strike. It was fantastic play, and I think the more we can see Will Swan in those areas just down the side of Lewington, he's facing him up, and I'm sure he'd be terrified with the pace that Will Swan's got, but he's rolled it into Aikens on the in the round about the penalty spot, and he's rolled it back to Clark, and we've seen him do it numerous times from that position, and it was a half bender, with a lot of power, and it's, as you say, rattled that the woodwork. It was a fantastic strike. Deserved a goal. It really was.
Certainly did, as Mansfield have a free kick on halfway. Meanwhile, Forest have conceded. Mateus Cunha has scored for Wolves. Forest 0, Wolves 1, as the ball comes into the area for Flint to head it down. It goes out of play for a goal kick. So in terms of the table, as we approach half-time, looking at the top to start with, Stockport County are currently leading on 86 points, Wrexham second on 82, Mansfield third on 77, and MK Dons fourth on 75, Crewe fifth on 70, Barrow sixth on 68, and AFC Wimbledon seventh on 65 as well. So it's shaping up rather nicely as we go into the final couple of games, but still a long way to go yet in this one, as Jordan Barry and Elliot Hewitt nearly getting each other's way. Big commanding header from Elliot Hewitt on the halfway line as it's crossed by Jack Payne. To the right hand side it goes towards Payne again, trying to get the return ball from Kieran Lofthouse, who in doing so was fouled, and it'll be a free kick to MK Dons over on that far side. 1-1 match day from BBC Radio Nottingham, and it's MK Dons 1, Stags 1. But again, just how important is it that Mansfield responded the way they did? MK Dons, they had the goal, they were sort of being a bit too casual with the ball, really, almost, and then Mansfield sort of made them pay for it. They won the ball back, and Elliot Hewitt, of all people, managed to grab a goal. Great play from Hiram Boateng, but it's sort of settled the game a little bit more now in some ways, and given Mansfield the upper hand. Yeah, definitely, and I think Stags really needed that goal, because it didn't look, even though they started the first 3-4 minutes really well, after that then it was just MK Dons, and it was like it wasn't really a contest. It was really, really easy for MK Dons to move the ball into the Stags' final third, but since that goal, as I say, Stags have really applied their high press, putting them under pressure, and it's making MK make a few errors, but it's also got them turning the ball over and winning the ball in good positions and able to spring attacks from there. So they seem to have reverted back to type, and it is a real contest now. High ball around the back. Jordan Barry has to add that one extra just to make sure that Jack Payne doesn't get there from the run in midfield. He's done well as Jordan Barry, despite his mistake earlier in the half. He's sort of mentally recovered from that, and it's easy to forget that he's not a natural centre half. He's been playing literally everywhere across the back four, as the ball downfield by Aidan Flint onto the shoulder of Will Swan, who did well to control, headed away by Warren O'Hara. Stags have a throw. Elliot Hewitt takes it to Lucas Aikens, who battles away with Dean Lewington, comes off Lewington. Maybe not. Thought maybe Lewington had got a touch.
I don't think so, but he's such a good player, Lewington. I know he's limited with his pace and things, but he's so calm and controlled on the ball. Even he makes little 2, 3, 4 yard passes, and it seems to be, and then there's a huge transition straight away. He's got great experience. Mansfield win it back with Hiram Boateng goes to ground as Aaron Lewis steps in, and Lucas Aikens has stayed onside in the right hand channel. Ball into the area, it's kneed away, only just. Lewington will try and get there and volleys it away and keeps it clear from going for a corner kick. I think, as I say, Stags were really quite direct at the start, and it wasn't really paying off, but they are now, and they seem to, but it is paying off at the minute, and as I say, last 10 minutes they're definitely much more in the ascendancy and ending the game on top here. Elliot Hewitt telling Aidan Flint to get into the penalty area as he looks to wind up a long throw right by the corner flag at right hand side. Not far to go till half time as Hewitt sends it into the penalty area. It's headed away by Dean Lewington. Had to get there first as Hewitt tries to volley that one back into the area. It's just outside the 18-yard box. Clark trying to get there first, maybe got an arm as it was cleared away down the line, but Lewis Reed, Jordan Barry and Elliot Hewitt all between who have enough about them to tidy that up as Reed sends that one out of play into touch, and the throw in it'll be to the Dons, who currently started the day in fourth, 74 points, goal difference of plus 16. They don't lose many here
In fact, they've scored first in their 24 of their 43 games, make that 25 of their 44, and they also conceded 1 goal in 16 of the 22 home games. So again, it's very much a mixed bag for MK Dons. A lot of that can be attributed to earlier in the season under Graham Alexander,
course, but and they're a different proposition now under Williamson, but they have looked quite vulnerable. Stags have really put them under pressure here.
Ball played forward, looking for Dean, who touches it on for Stephen Wayne. It's a lovely touch, and Dean leaves it for Daniel Harvey down the left-hand side. 25-year-old gets past Hewitt, although it goes off the toe of Dan Harvey, and out of play for a Stags throw deep inside their own half. 1 minute to go before half-time. What do you think Nigel Clough will be saying to his players, and I just think the Stags players will be feeling after that first half? Important they got back into it.
Yeah, I think they'll be buoyed by their response to going behind. And I think Nigel will be pleased with how they reacted, because I don't know, it didn't seem quite them at the start of the game. As I say, a little bit wary, not really pressing, and as I say, a little bit passive. But since the goal, they've been really active in their pressing and closing the ball down, and that's really got them back into the game, and where they're creating lots of chances now. So I think that Nigel's going to be saying, well, just carry on doing what you're doing. Make sure we're sure at the back, because obviously it was a bit of a mistake by Bowery, which ended in the goal. So making sure you're sure at the back, but then just press him with.
Jordan Bowery did well there. Had to do well as Christy Pym boots that one downfield. It was just dinked over towards Max Dean. Meanwhile, Will Swan will try and get there. He was offside though, unfortunately. So much added time will be added on at the end of the first half. Just the 2 minutes added on,
and not make mistakes like nearly that was. Just try and cut those little errors out.
It's a difficult one for Jordan Barry, similar to the one that he made earlier in the half when he was sort of turning. He had Max Dean on his shoulder. Meanwhile, it's a high ball forward for Stephen Wayne down this left hand side again. Lewis Reed matching him stride for stride, but it's back down to the left-footed Dan Harvey, trying to jink his way into the penalty area. Gets the return ball, loses it though as Aaron Lewis steers it and goes past one and past another. This time Lewis just firing that one out into touch. I think it was just a case of wasting a bit of time. Goal in the Premier League, and it's at the City Ground. 2 minutes in stoppage time there, and it's Morgan Gibbs-White against his former club, who's given the equaliser for Forest. More reaction from there to come at half-time with Charlie Slater at the City Ground as the ball volley clear by Jordan Barry. No mistakes needed. Meanwhile, Sutton United have taken the lead away at Harrogate. So plenty of goals flying in across the country. We'll have a full roundup very, very shortly. We've played a 1 minute of the 2 added on here at the end of the first half. A breathless first half so far between two sides who are playing some really good, scintillating football. Nothing can separate them in the opening 45 minutes, he says, as it's played down the line for Dan Harvey up against Lewis Reed. Ball into the area, touched away by Flint, and it'll be the first corner of the afternoon.
I think it does. We were talking about Bowery a little earlier, and I think playing all those different positions, when you do find yourself in a new position, it's not as easy as just going in there and playing. You find yourself in your body position being wrong in some cases, and that's what's happening to him 2 times, and he got away with that one. However, the first one he didn't, just because his body position isn't right. But that's something that you learn with experience, and he being inexperienced there, then Nigel's got to obviously know that as well.
Corner coming in then. Mansfield need to deal with this one as it's sent in towards the back post. Header coming in as it's cleared away. It'll fall to Lewis Bate. Leaves Loney. Goes all the way back towards Kyron Lofthouse, and Aaron Lewis boots in that one clear, taking no chances. The referee blows his whistle in Ensall Square after the first 45 minutes. A goal from Max Dean after Barry, with a slight mistake, his touch didn't quite reach Christy Pym. Max Dean still with a lot to do, bent that one into the top corner past Christy Pym, but Mansfield responded well. Good play from Hiram Boateng down the right hand side, and it was touched in to Elliot Hewitt in only his 3rd appearance of the season. He got it touched into that near post for his first goal of the season, back from an ACL injury, and that could be a hugely important goal. And it's 1-1 at the break, Gareth Jellyman.
Yeah, really even game in the end. Obviously both teams had spells. MK really bossed the first opening period, where, to be fair, they didn't look that much of a contest. They just seemed so much in control, and they were able to move the ball wherever they wanted, really. But then, as I say, that little injection when Stags managed to get into the final third, the first time they got into the box, put the ball across, Hewitt put it in, and then it's been a totally different game since then, where I don't know, it's Boyd Stags and I've probably given him a little bit of belief as well, thinking actually we can go on and get something here, and just that, and it's pressurised MK to make a few mistakes, lot more turnover, winning the ball in good positions, and then Stags are looking really dangerous then, and they've had a few entries into the box. Will Swan going down, not given a penalty, even though I don't think it was, but then obviously with Ollie Clark as well, with that great strike when it's laid off to him on the edge, and it's just really unfortunate that it wasn't a couple of an inch lower, where it probably hit the underside of the bar and gone in. But so it's evenly poised, and the half seems to have flown by, just because I think it's been really intriguing, the battle, and how much it's swung.
Well, we'll talk about Ollie Clark's shot in a moment, because it rattled the frame of the goal. Interesting thing with Will Swan, he seems to be hanging on the shoulder of Dean Lewington on this near side, and again he's starting to cause one or two more problems. Yeah,
and that's where the goal come from in the end. But Lewington was backing off, and Boateng's just run inside him, and he slipped it down the side to him, got to the byline and put it across. And so I think they can get a lot of joy there. As I say, he is a really good player, Lewington, and he's been there and done that, but age isn't on his side, and I think the longer the game goes on, and with Will Swan's running power, he can cause all sorts of problems, and they seem to be trying to single that out, and it's happened a few times, definitely towards the end of the game, and they seem to be getting through from that.
Certainly do. More to come in the second half then. Thanks very much to Gareth Jellyman. More from him in the second half. Evenly poised here then at Stadium MK. MK Dons taking the lead through Max Dean, but then an equaliser from Elliot Hewitt sets it up nicely for the second half. At the break, it is MK Dons 1, Mansfield Town 1.
Wolves 1. It's match day on BBC Radio Nottingham, finally poised here at the City Ground, as it is at Stadium MK, where it's MK Dons 1, Mansfield Town 1, and Notts County are winning by 2-0 at Walsall this afternoon as well. We will take you through all of the scores in just a moment, but first of all, before we have a quick look at the cricket as well, the time has just gone 10-4.
On BBC iPlayer.
Ding dong delicious.
Glow Up is back.
This is not time to shine.
With mind-blowing makeup looks to create.
This is literal art.
I love this.
Idols to impress.
I actually want to recreate this look.
And a career-transforming prize.
I want this more than anyone, and no one's going to stop me.
The competition is just getting started.
I'm going to have to put up one heck of a fight, but I'm ready for it.
The new series of Glow Up. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Match day.
BBC Radio Nottingham.
Nottingham Forest 1, Wolves 1 at the break at the City Ground. Brian Laws, that is set up very nicely for the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. It could have been such a different story if we hadn't got that goal, for sure. The atmosphere of the crowd and the demeanour, as I said, going off 1-0 down, really, when they should have done better with that first goal. Yeah, I'll give Kuna the fact he's finished it really well, but we've had a long time to deal with that. From the halfway line, he's travelled a long way, and that's just not acceptable defending. And I could see, as he was fuming on the touchline, and rightly so. That's not acceptable defending. And to recover, because normally when teams like that, and you've seen Wolves, they were deliberately delaying tactics, they're feigning a little bit of injury, slowing the game down. They know they want to get in at half-time 1-0, turn the crowd against the players. So that was crucial to get back in, and from a corner that we don't often see many set plays, particularly from Forest's point of view, scoring goals from corners. And Gibbs White against his former club, he'd been quiet today, and I think that's down to a number of factors. And I think one or two of the Wolves players were getting into his head. They were definitely tuning his ear off in the game. A bit of banter, we call it banter, a little bit of
needle,
and soon when he scored that goal, his reaction, you could see that was a bit of the frustration come off, and he's gone to one or two of the players and put his finger to his mouth, shushing him, and that tells me that he's he's had a bit of stick on the pitch.
Yeah,
so.
he enjoyed that. Lawsy, thank you for your time. You can run away again now. Appreciate that. Thank you ever so much indeed. If you heard me hesitate a few moments ago, it's because I turned to talk to Brian Lawsy and he'd gone. He's come back again now, though, and now he's off. MK Dons 1, Mansfield Town 1 at the break. Mansfield have got themselves back into that game, having trailed early doors. Gareth Jellyman's been watching. That also set up nicely for the second half, Gareth.
Oh, really does. It's an intriguing battle. As I say, MK Dons pretty much bossed the first 15-20 minutes, and they look so comfortable there, and they move the ball really, really well. And I just think Stags looked a little bit wary of them, and they were frightened of their attacking three that they've got, and sat back a little bit, which I'm not really used to seeing, where Stags are really on their front foot and they press ever so well out of possession. And the first foray into the 18-yard box, and Stags have got themselves back in the game. And from that, then they've only built and built and built, and they are putting MK Dons under pressure, causing problems, causing turnovers, and getting the ball further up, winning the ball further up the pitch. And they're able to build from that really quickly. And they've probably fashioned probably the best chance apart from the goals, with Ollie Clark hitting the crossbar. It was a fantastic strike, and he's really, really unlucky not for it to go in. But as I say, it's an intriguing battle set up for the second half.
Yeah, huge second half on the way there. Thank you, Gareth. And meanwhile, at the Bestcott Stadium, things are clicking for Notts County Stout. 2-0 up. It's like old times.
Absolutely like old times, and they've controlled it. It's been virtually the perfect 45 minutes away from home. Got the first goal, Macaulay Langstaff given a golden opportunity within 90 seconds to set the ball rolling, and then Aaron, the man, with an individual goal that will be up there for goal of the season, coming in from the right-hand side, beating 2 or 3 men and then rifling the left-footed shot into the roof of the net to give us the 2-goal lead at half-time.
Thank you, Stout. Elsewhere in the Premier League today, it's goalless between Brentford and Sheffield United, likewise between Burnley and Brighton. Here at the City Ground, 1 apiece. Manchester City leading at home to Luton Town, early doors through a Luton own goal. But at lunchtime, Newcastle United beat Tottenham by 4-0. Alexander Isak scored twice in that game for the Magpies, and afterwards Isak spoke to our reporter Guy Mowbray.
Well, the goal scoring continues. How much fun is it playing right now?
No, it's really fun, especially when we have days like this. You know, when the fans are like they are always. We play at home, and feels like we're so strong here.
How big are you on records and stats for yourself? Because that's 6 home games in a row now. There's only Alan Shearer and Andy Cole scored in more in a row for Newcastle in the Premier League. That's good company to be in.
Yeah, of course. I think you guys in the media find so many records and so much stats that you can beat. Obviously, I just play and do my best. But yeah, it's obviously fun things as well.
And can I just take you back to the FA Cup defeat to Manchester City? Sorry about that, but since then, the team really seems to have come together and pick things up as if you really had to prove something and get this European place.
Yeah, I think we know we can still achieve something this season, and we can end the season in a good way. So I think we have a lot of energy now. We've turned things around, and it's just about keep going like this.
So Newcastle 4-0 winners against Tottenham at lunchtime. Also at lunchtime, but in the Championship, it's all of a sudden like nobody wants to win the second tier this season. Last night, Leicester City were beaten 1-0 down in the southwest against Plymouth. At lunchtime, Leeds United lost at home against Blackburn Rovers, and if I'm not mistaken, that might well be their first home defeat all season, beaten by 1-0. And for much of the first half, Ipswich were trailing at home to Middlesbrough. That's now 1-1. So in the Championship, Leeds beaten by Blackburn by 1-0. At half-time, Birmingham leading by 2-0 against Coventry. That one a bit of a surprise, but Birmingham fighting for their lives and Coventry fighting for the playoffs. Goalless between Bristol City and Huddersfield. 2-0 to Hull against QPR. Millwall leading against Cardiff by 2-1. It's goalless between Preston and Norwich, and Sheffield Wednesday and Stoke. That one a big one at the bottom of the table. Southampton are leading by 2-1 against Watford. It's 0-0 between Swansea and Rotherham, and Sunderland are winning by 1-0 at West Brom. West Brom also chasing those playoffs. In League One, Barnsley and Reading are drawing 1-1. Bolton and Portsmouth also drawing 1-1. That's a big one at the top. If Portsmouth win today, they not only get promoted, but they also win the title. Cambridge are trailing at home by 1-0 against Charlton. Blackpool are 1-up at Carlisle. Carlisle already relegated. Bristol Rovers are 1-up at Cheltenham. Derby County, who are profiting at the moment from results elsewhere, are winning by 2-0 at home to Leyton Orient, and as things stand, opening up a little bit of a gap between themselves in second at the top of League One and third place Bolton. Fleetwood, who could be relegated today if they were to lose and results elsewhere go against them, they're winning by 2-0 against Northampton. It's Lincoln 1, Wigan 1. Oxford are beating Peterborough 3-0, which is a surprise. Port Vale are winning by 2-0 against Exeter. It's Shrewsbury 0, Wickham 0, and Burton are 1-up at Stevenage. Likewise, a little bit of a surprise. Into League 2, Colchester 2-1 up at Crawley. Grimsby 1-0 up at Crewe. Meanwhile, it's Doncaster 2, Accrington 0, Gillingham 1, Barrow 0, Sutton are 1-up at Harrogate. As you already have been hearing, it's 1-1 between MK Dons and Mansfield. Tranmere are 2-1 up at Newport. It's 1-1 between Salford and Bradford. Stockport, who are doing their bit today as they attempt to get promoted and also to try and win League 2, are winning this afternoon by 2-0 against Morecambe. If they continue to do their bit today, they will be promoted. They will be promoted unless they lose, and it doesn't look like they're going to do that. They also have a chance of clinching the title, but for this to happen, they have to win, and Wrexham and Mansfield both lose. Now, that is looking unlikely, and I say that because Wrexham are beating Forest Green Rovers by 4-0. Notts are 2-up at Walsall. It's Swindon Town 0, Wimbledon 1, and as I just mentioned a moment ago, Stockport 2, Morecambe 0. Let's take a check-in with the cricket across the road from here to Dave. Dave Bracegirdle is watching Nottinghamshire against Worcestershire.
Well, frustratingly, Charlie, we're in the final over before tea, and we're all being held up whilst the Notts physio checks out Ben Slater. He's in there close on the leg side, and the ball has just been pulled on the bounce into him. Slater clearly said he's okay, but the umpires have insisted that he's checked out. They could have trooped off 5 minutes ago and gone for tea. With Worcestershire 89 for 3. It's been a session very much of two halves. Notts picked up wickets right at the start of it through Dylan Pennington and Luke Fletcher. Then a long and lengthy partnership between Kashi Fally and Rob Jones, which has just ended. Dylan Pennington, who's bowled terrifically well against his former county, got Ali caught down at third man by Jack Haynes for 40. Earlier in the day, Notts 399 all out. Lyndon James frustratingly out last ball before lunch for 96, but Notts will feel they've got the better of it at the moment. Worcestershire 89 for 3.
Thank you, Dave. Ball-by-ball commentary continuing on the BBC Sport and app there. So at half-time in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest 1, Wolves 1, while in League 2 it's MK Dons 1, Mansfield 1 and Walsall 0, Notts County 2. There aren't many goals anywhere in the Premier League in the 3 o'clocks. Aside from here, Manchester City leading against Luton by 1-0. But at lunchtime, Newcastle thumped Spurs by 4-0. And afterwards, the Spurs manager, Ange Postecoglou, spoke to Guy Mowbray.
Well, Ange, that's a tough one for you. Give us your thoughts on the overall game, the performance, everything.
Yeah, like you said, it's a tough one, a bit raw at the moment. So, but credit to Newcastle. I thought they were really good today, and we never really got to grips with the game, and we kind of weren't able to sort of execute pretty much any of the stuff we usually do. So I said credit to them, but we just got to take that.
Was it those first 2 goals, the quick-fire goals, did that really set the tone? Because up until that point, nothing in it.
To a certain extent. I thought even before that, I just thought, we lacked a little bit of conviction today around a lot of things, with and without the ball, and they can hurt you, particularly in transition, and they did that today.
Can you put your finger on why that might have happened?
I'm sure I will at some point.
Welcome back to Stadium MK. Both sets of players making their way out for the second half after a pulsating first half between these two sides battling away for the automatic promotion places. At the moment, Stockport and Wrexham look like they've got theirs. Can Mansfield Town also add themselves to that list? Will Swan has come off at half-time. He's been replaced by Davis Keeler-Dunn. I can only assume that might be because he got a yellow card in the first half, and you just wonder whether today's not a day to go down to 10 men, Gareth Jellyman.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Obviously, how important this game is. There's still three important games after this, so we need to keep making sure we're keeping 11 players on the pitch to perform to our optimum, really. So and what a great change to be able to make. Well swung for Keeler Dunn.
Nothing like bringing on your top goal scorer
exactly.
for the second half, which gets underway right now. Mansfield Town kicking towards their fans for this second half. Over 3,500 of them making the journey down the M1. I'll give you a rundown of the two teams in just a moment, but at the moment George Williams has the ball for Stags, ready for this throw. Christy Pym in goal then for the Stags, with George Williams, Aidan Flint, Elliot Hewitt and Jordan Barry the back four. Hewitt will be playing at right back with Williams at left back. Meanwhile, the midfield four of Lewis Reed, Aaron Lewis, Ollie Clark and Hiram Boateng, who's in the 10, Lucas Akins and Davis Keeler-Dunn up top. Meanwhile, for MK Dons, Michael Kelly in goal, back three of Lewington, Tucker and O'Hara, Lofthouse and Harvey the wing backs, with Jack Payne, Lewis Bates in the midfield, and a front three of Max Dean the goal scorer, Stephen Wynne and Alex Gilby. Long ball played forward, Christy Pym comes off his line, leaves a knee up in the air as well, and yeah, that's not for me at all, as Aidan Flint sort of saying to the referee there's barely anything in that. We saw it.
Yeah, there was nothing in that. It was Pym's ball. The players just trying to put him under a little bit of pressure. Flint's done what any good defender do, just stood between them, but then he's gone down holding his ankle, so maybe when he's just went to put his foot down, it was unintentional anyway. It was never anything in that, nothing at all.
Well, Christy Pym just having a quick word with Lewis Reed. I think the referee got enough about him to think, well, okay, fair enough, certainly not a foul, but maybe Max Dean has landed slightly awkwardly there, which obviously you don't wish injuries on players, but he's been the most dangerous one for MK Dons.
Yeah, he's so sharp, and to be fair, he glides past people. He's done it on a few occasions, and you don't want him facing you up in the box, because, as you say, that what you see there, he's gone over quite easily, and he could definitely sucker you into making a rash decision and giving penalty away. So unfortunate for him. Oh, here we go. He's
slowly getting back to his feet, but not moving as well as he would have liked. But yeah, he certainly felt the whack of that one.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Might well be okay. I mean, they do have Ellis Harrison and Dan Kemp on the bench. I mean, we're talking about Davis Keeler-Dunn coming on the break.
Exactly.
Dan Kemp has got 19 goals himself this season, and he can't get near the starting lineup. So there we go. Shows the quality and the strength and depth that MK Dons have got. But seems that Max Dean should be okay. I mean, it's very much a case now for Mike Williamson. They can't afford to lose this one, so see how they go.
Yeah, I think he'll give it 20 minutes and then he will try and throw the kitchen sink at it, really. But yeah, so Stags have got to be ready for that. But as I say, Stags have got a really strong bench as well, and they're in the position they are for a reason. How well they performed through the season, and they know that. And as we saw towards the end of the second half, them really stamping their authority in the game and coming into it and being the team in control. So they've just got to carry that on, really.
Well, the back four of Mansfield Town just stretched at the moment, making sure that everyone's being marked man for man as the cross comes in towards this near side for Lewis Reed, who hooks that one forward down into the right hand side for Davis Keeler-Dunn. Hooked clear. Max Dean is back on the field of play. The referee's a line play to go on with Kyron Lofthouse up against Jordan Barry. Here is Kyron Lofthouse still. He loses out, and Jordan Barry steps in and wins it back, clears his lines. It hits the heels of George Williams, and off go Mansfield with Lucas Akins on halfway. Goes to ground, buys a free kick and gets one as well. Very nervy moment there as Kyron Lofthouse was sort of jostling with Jordan Barry, but you have to say fair play to Jordan Barry for sticking to his task. Aaron Lewis helping him out as well. Big boots as well from Lewis. Goes out of play for a MK Dons throw.
Yeah, Williams just ball was coming to him. I think he thought he had a little bit of time. However, the striker was coming up behind him, and he's just put his body in the way. So Williams couldn't get to the ball. Then there was trouble. But yeah, Bowery slowed him down, which is what you got to do as a defender, and hopefully you get back up, and that's what happened, and forced Lofthouse into a mistake. He got it stuck under his feet.
Here's Keeler-Dunn, lost that one out to the right hand side for Elliot Hewitt, who's sort of almost playing as a right winger rather than a right back, as it's steered in field back to Keeler-Dunn, sends it past his man. He manages to bounce off the defender, still got it as Dean Lewington though. Meanwhile, challenge coming in on Ollie Clark and Elliot Hewitt. This time it's played all the way back to Warren O'Hara. Mansfield Town being sent forward by Nigel Clough. George Williams just being told to keep a very close eye on Kyron Lofthouse. He's quick and he's pacey. as it's played forward again, headed away by Jordan Barry up towards Aaron Lewis, who's trying to cushion that one out of the air, and he does exactly for Lewis Reed. Back to Aaron Lewis, who steers it and hits it against his man and keeps hold of it.
But that's brave. That's brave, I think.
Throw coming in towards Akins in the area. It's still got it as Akins sends it up towards the back post. It's Hiram Boateng, sends it forwards. Oh, it's saved on the line. Still not cleared. Saved on the line again. Keelan Dunn will square it. It's still not gone in. Oh, it does go in eventually from Davis Keelan Dunn as he runs away in front of the Mansfield Town fans. 4, 5, 6 attempts to get it over the line. It pinballed in the area, and Davis Keelan Dunn has picked up a huge game to score his 20th goal of the season from a couple of yards out. Absolute pinball in the penalty area, ecstasy in the away end, and Mansfield Town have turned it around. It's Davis Keelan Dunn, goal number 20, and he makes it MK Dons 1, Mansfield Town 2.
Wow, I think the keeper made 3 saves on the spin there from about 3 yards. Keelan Dunn to start with. Boateng to start with, he's made a save from 4 yards, then Keelan Dunn from 3 yards, and there's a clearance off the line, but the ball's gone in the back of the net in the end, and Keelan Dunn's reeling away. But I think it came from a brave play. They seem MK Dons had the ball in their 18-yard box really, but Mansfield pressed really, really high. Even Jordan, it's pretty much man for man across the pitch, and Jordan Bowery followed his man into the MK Dons half, and he won a header, a brave header. Then Lewis was on the end of it, got a quick throw into the box, and caused all sorts of problems. But that's come from the brave play that that pressing game that they do that high up, which is we were missing at the start of the first half, but they're applying it now and they're getting the benefits from it.
2-1 they lead. In the driving seat for a top 3 place at Mansfield Town. Long way to go yet though, as you can see more fans dressed as bananas over on the left hand side. They're going bananas, and rightly so, as it's a free kick to MK Dons, who don't lose many here, it has to be said. At the minute they're trailing to Stags, who are looking to stretch that gap between them and MK Dons to 5 points. If they do that, huge game on Tuesday night at home to Accrington Stanley. And now it's up to MK Dons to respond, as it's back across to this right hand side for Kyron Lofthouse up against George Williams. Has to go back though, does Lofthouse, on towards Tucker, and here is O'Hara in towards Bates as Mansfield win it back for Ollie Clark. It has to be steered back, and Davis Keelan Dunn might be able to get in here if he can. It's well defended by Jack Tucker. Back to his goalkeeper he goes.
Yeah, and I think it's quite imperative that Stags don't just sit off now as well, because when MK Dons get control of the game, and they make it look really, really easier, and they can fashion all sorts because of the movement they have in the midfield. But at the minute they're putting the pressure. Every single person who receives the ball is under pressure, and everything seems rushed, and that's what Stags need to keep the game like that. Keep it a rushed game, because it's suiting Stags, and as you say, we've got 2 goals from that.
Throw coming in short from Kyron Lofthouse, looking to turn as it's back with Lofthouse down the right hand side up against George Williams, who sort of sends him tumbling to the floor, into the box, in towards Payne into the box still, as he leaves it for the man who's offside, as it's dinked back into the area. Header coming in, it's a big bouncing header from Aidan Flint. Threw everything at that one, and he clattered into Ollie Clark in the process. Had to get that absolutely spot on, as it's dinked into the channel again. Ball into the box, it deflects and nearly goes in. Plenty of players scrabbling in the penalty area. In fact, one of them is Stephen Wen, who got tangled in the net. Aidan Flint doing exactly the same as well. Dangerous ball into the box. Thankfully it goes all the way through. 2-1 to Mansfield it stays.
Yeah, that was a very, very, very dangerous ball, just evading the midfielder who was flying in there. But as I say, Stags, you can see them throwing themselves at it, which is warming to see. But yeah, it's difficult. There's going to be spells like that where Stags are going to be under a lot of pressure, I think, and they've just got to be really, really resilient. And it's, as I say, it's good to see that so many bodies getting thrown at it. Aidan Flint there just flung himself, and I'd hate to be on the end of that. He'd come out of nowhere to win that first header. Excellent.
Really good header. As Davis Keelan Dunn picks up the loose ball and cuts in and goes past one and maybe past another, as he's helping to bring it into Lewis Reed, but it's well picked up by Lewis Bates as he glides through the midfield, looking for a white shirt in front of him. Still got it as Jack Payne as he sends that one through. Williams had to get something on it, headed back down the line to Jack Payne, who's looking to turn. Here's Max Dean on the edge of the box. Lofthouse sliding in, as does George Williams, and it goes out of play for a MK Dons corner kick. Quickly before that is taken, if you've got a bet on the Grand National, I Am Maximus has won it. I don't know, I can't remember who I put on, but
it wasn't that one.
Never mind. Yeah. Well, if you have, well done. I Am Maximus wins the Grand National. 2 horses going at it here at Stadium MK. And at the moment, Mansfield Town are heading to the final furlong well, maybe final few furlongs. But they're leading it for the time being as Lewis Bates gets ready for this corner kick. Near side, sticks an arm up, sticks it into the near post, shouts for Hiram Boateng, handball as it's struck nearly goalwards by Alex Gilby. Completely mishit it, but this time it's
push in the back.
Cleared away, but it'll come out for Jack Payne, who wins the ball. In fact, it's well played from Lewis Reed as Akins dinks one forward looking for Davis Keeler-Dunn. It's dealt with only just by Jack Tucker. Had to get there as well, did Tucker, as the player goes down. Mansfield win it back, but the referee blows his whistle.
It's getting a little bit feisty out there, it really is. A little bit of needle out there.
I love it. I think it's great.
It's fantastic. Makes for a better spectacle.
Certainly does. As it's back at the feet of MK Dons, who have to win really if they want to keep hold of their automatic promotion hopes. And even if they do win today, it's still very much in Mansfield Town's hands, but at the moment it's firmly in the grasp of Mansfield Town's fingers as it's with Kyron Lofthouse on the edge of the box. Here's Bates, across he goes again towards Alex Gilby. Gilby looking for the run, but didn't get it, looking for the return ball from Dan Harvey. Here's Bates again. Mansfield just trying to form a yellow wall in front of the 6-yard box. It's cleared away by Aaron Lewis, not very far though. Boateng stepping in to try and win it back as Mike Williamson just telling his players just to come back a little bit, trying to attack the Mansfield Town back line. Here's Max Dean up against Ollie Clark, still got it as Dean, trying to work some space for a shot, runs into Keeler-Dunn on the edge of the box. Flint turns it away and plays that one through to Lucas Akins. And off go Mansfield, 3 versus 2 here, 3v3 now as Davis Keeler-Dunn charging through on this left-hand side. Still got it as Keeler-Dunn on towards his left foot. Keeler-Dunn into the area. He goes to ground. Reed! He sends it over the top. And it goes out of play for a goal kick. Huge opportunity for Lewis Reed to get his 3rd goal of the season from literally inside the 6-yard box. Tight angle, sent it on his right foot and blazed it over into the travelling Stags fans who stand there hands on head. That could have been it.
I think the ref blew up for a foul there. Keeler-Dunn, just as he was going to shoot, the defender got his foot in the way, and then Keeler-Dunn ended up kicking the back of the defender. So he wouldn't have counted anyway. But that's what I was saying. If we can do that for the rest of the game. Wowzers. That's a nice ball through towards Max Dean and Christy Pym very quickly off his line as he sort of saying to his players, don't lose your heads, don't let him go through. It's exactly the message that Christy Pym is telling Aidan Flint and Jordan Barry. They cannot afford to have too many of them. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. He was in absolute acres, and fortunately he didn't get the ball there right in the middle. I'm not sure. There was a miscommunication between Flint and Bowery who's picking him up, because he was just left on his own. Luckily Pym was alert enough to get off his line and be first to it. There's a player down over on the far side. I think it's Hewitt. That is not good at all. He's the man who got the equaliser. I think we might be seeing a change as Maris is ready to come on, and Tom Nichols as well. So that might mean that George Williams will go to right back, Jordan Barry at left back. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 changes in the middle. Maybe Aaron Lewis could go there perhaps. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, Elliot Hewitt is back on his feet and he might be okay, but is it worth risking him with Atkinson, Stanley and Gillingham on the way? Will Ollie Clark play there? Right back, no?
Possibly. I mean, he can play anywhere, can't he? Ollie Clark, or maybe Akins. Maybe that's why Nichols is coming on. Yeah, that's what it'll be. Maybe Akins, right? Either way, I mean, Hewitt seems to be all right, to be fair. He's back on his feet, so it might not be the man who's coming off. However, we'll see when the official puts his board up as to who is coming off. George Williams. Looks like he's walking round. In fact, it's Ollie Clark who is coming off. Tom Nichols is coming on. Elliot Hewitt is coming off. I think Clark, with him being on a yellow card as well, is another contributor. And George Maris will be coming on for Elliot Hewitt. So in terms of the lineup, we'll see what that does momentarily. Yeah, Akins has gone back to right back. Nichols up top, and then Maris straight swap for. I mean, there's a lot of attacking quality on that field right now for Mansfield Town, but it does mean in some ways defensively they're going to be a little bit more vulnerable. It's very much a makeshift back four now with Akins and Bowery at centre half, particularly on that right hand side. Neither of them really are natural defenders, but needs must. They do such a good job as they did Tuesday night. So and I'd say Akins was arguably the best player on Tuesday night at right back. I thought he did really, really well. The ball flicked in towards Aaron Lewis, takes the touch and looks to go around the back if he can, as he plays that one in towards Tom Nichols, and it'll go out of play for a goal kick. Half an hour to go. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. An hour played here at Stadium MK. Still Notts County leading away at Walsall by 2-0. Meanwhile, Forest have turned it around. Danilo with the second goal for Forest. They lead Wolves by 2-1. So far so good on match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. Like weekends like this in the sunshine here at Stadium MK. Mansfield winning, Notts winning, Forest winning as it's back with the feet of Tom Nichols. He just took his toe away from the ball just to allow Lewis Bate to pick it up and play it to Stephen Wayne. George Williams is going to have to be on his mettle here, because here comes Kyron Lofthouse running it up against George Williams, but he's done well here against his former club, as Williams just making absolutely sure that Lofthouse can't get anywhere near the 18-yard box. So it's back with Stephen Wayne on this right hand side, recycled all the way back to Jack Tucker across to O'Hara, forward to Dean Lewington. Mansfield keeping their shape where they can as Lewington probing towards the penalty area. It's headed away by Jordan Barry. Maris steps in and plays it back to Akins, who steers that one up towards Tom Nichols. It's over him and it goes all the way through to Michael Kelly. Match night back with you on Tuesday night as Mansfield Town hosting MK Dons. They're playing MK Dons now. Accrington Stanley they're playing on Tuesday night. It's too many games as it's with Lucas Akins, but big game at the One Call Stadium. Stags versus Accrington Stanley. You can hear that game on all frequencies on match night from BBC Radio Nottingham. In fact, you can't, because Notts County are playing Stockport that same night, so you can hear it on 95.5 FM. It's been a long season, Gareth.
It really has, hasn't it? It's got flown by, though.
It really has.
Yeah,
it really has. Throw into Mansfield Town. Lucas Akins standing over it in the right back position, ready to launch this one downfield as he gets plenty of distance on it. One for Tom Nichols to try and win. Davis Keeler-Dunn battling away as well, but it'll fall to Hiram Boateng, looking to turn and play it back to Lucas Akins. Then right back, goes past one and past another, steers it in field, gets a free kick.
That's what you like. Let's kill the game now, really. I think we'll see quite a lot of that. Stags, to be fair, again, sitting quite deep and soaking that pressure up there. They're quite formidable like that with Aidan Flynn and Bowery can just mop everything up that's thrown into the box and then hitting them on the break. Obviously they've got intelligence up top. Tom Nichols and Keeler-Dunn, two of the best. Well, if you can get the ball into their feet, so creative and how they can manipulate the ball and bring others into play. It could be a real plus point for Stags.
They know they're close to the Stags fans. Half an hour to go in this game as the ball into the channel for Nichols. It's in front of him and goes out of play for a MK Dons goal kick. And all of a sudden they when they were stood there on the edge of the 18-yard box toying with the ball a little bit, there seems to be a bit more urgency about them now that they're trailing. And now Mansfield can maybe probe that, as it's just big boot downfield looking for Max Dean, but Aidan Flint will win those all day long. Davis Keeler-Dunn trying to get there first. It's just going to be left to guard a play for
it's a little bit more urgency with MK Dons, isn't there? So obviously they're feeling that pressure a little bit, and the more the clock ticks down, obviously this result pretty much hit well for automatic promotion. They're relying on it to get a victory here.
And Mansfield Town trying to probe where they can as Reid steps in and wins it back, gives a free kick away though. As things stand in the table, top three, Stockport on 86, Wrexham on 82, Stags on 79, with a 5-point gap on fourth place. MK Dons as it's played down the line for Max Dean, trying to run at Lucas Akins. Still got it as Dean, but he plays it into the midfield for Bate. And now here is Daniel Harvey to Lewington, back to Harvey again down the right hand side. Max Dean wants it in the box, but he's going to go all the way back to Warren O'Hara. Midway inside the Stags half, across he goes to Lewis Bate again, on loan from Leeds United. He rolls that one into the channel. It's a good touch as well. Aaron Lewis sticks to his task and keeps hold of his man as it's back with Lewis Bate, looking to turn, gets past Keeler-Dunn and past Aaron Lewis as well, goes to the byline, pulls it across, and Jordan Barry with the touch clears his lines, keeping it simple but effective. Another goal at the City Ground. Forest 2, Wolves 2. Blimey, end-to-end stuff going on over there. End-to-end stuff here. Stags leading by 2-1. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. There's also been a red card in the Notts County game. Walsall down to 10 men. Notts County leading by 2-0 and also have a man advantage. But on 95.5 FM, the most important result at the moment is that Mansfield Town are leading by 2-1, and at the moment they have a big step towards the top three.
Yeah, and as I say, they just got to keep doing what they're doing. It might be a case of all hands on deck and getting everyone back. So they might be under a little bit of pressure, but you know, you've got to win ugly sometimes.
Just slip through towards Kyron Lofthouse, who strikes it. It's over Pim's goal.
I think you take that all day. You're happy to see him shooting from there. They do a lot of work on, like before the game, we looked at their little intricate passes in the box and getting shots off, and to be fair, so they do work on it. So Mansfield just got to be very, very careful, because they are quite neat and tidy around the box, and they can fashion chances out of seemingly nothing. So just keep concentrating. As I said at the start of the game, that concentration levels need to be extremely high.
Here's George Williams, former MK Dons man, as Williams sends that one high, looking for Tom Nichols. It's he nearly won it as well, did Tom Nichols. He got sort of knocked over off the ball. It goes all the way through to Michael Kelly, but it's all about the mindset now for Mansfield, you feel, with obviously a lot of attacking quality on the field of play for MK Dons. I can see a few players warming up, including Dan Kemp and Ellis Harrison. It's going to be a very tiring last half an hour as Williams, he's sent tumbling to the floor. He bounced straight back up there as Barry slices his clearance completely and gives away a cheap corner. That was a tired one.
That wasn't it? It was a big swipe, and it's like spun off his foot and got out for a corner. So this is where you hope your teammates get you out of trouble here, when you're thinking, oh no.
Let's hope so. They've lost Elliot Hewitt.
Exactly.
As the corner comes short to Stephen Wayne, back to the edge of the 18-yard box for Lewis Payne. Now here is Dan Harvey looking to shoot, left-footed. He strikes it. It takes a double ricochet, and Tom Nichols rolls. He's trying to play that one through to Davis Keeler-Dunn, who sticks his arms out and says, "What was that?" Effectively,
that was what a block by Reed. He come out of nowhere and flung himself on it.
But it's sort of pinballed around between Reed and Aaron Lewis, as well as George Williams sticks to his task also and stops that ball from going any further.
Yeah, good defense
from Kyron Lofthouse. Again, that's probably where the battle is going to be all afternoon, between Lofthouse and Williams, as the ball is on the chest of Alex Gilby. Back to Lofthouse down this right hand side, steers it back to Wayne. Here's back to Jack Tucker, and Mansfield looking to probe and push out where they can as it's rolled through. Oh dear, Jack Payne just sends that one all the way through. That'll go for a goal kick. Stags will take that all day long.
No, and I think the more the clock ticks out, you know, you're more prone to making those mistakes, because you're trying to force things because you're thinking there's not much time left. So, you know, that's going to play into the hand. The longer the Stags can keep it at this score, well, obviously it's quite obvious, but the longer they can keep it, the more, you know, more stretched, and the more MK Dons are going to make mistakes, because they're really pressuring, trying and get a goal to get back in the game.
They're going to be rushing it, you feel, as Christy Pym gets ready with a long kick downfield. It's one that Tom Nichols will try and win. He's not having the best of luck up there at the moment. It's booted high.
He does, for the size of him, you think there's not much of him, but he does use his body ever so well, and even just put defenders under pressure there, when obviously it looks like an easy header for the big old centre half, but he can back himself in, and he ends up making them make a mistake. Sign of a good play.
Throw into Stags. George Williams, in his former parish, launches that one down the left-hand side. It's kept in play by Tom Nichols. Keeler-Dunn with the back heel to Maris, edge of the penalty area. Maris switches it across to Lucas Akins, just having to divert slightly to the right-hand side. Akins looking to ride into the channels as Akins sends it across the face of goal. Does he know? He thought about it, played it all the way back to Aaron Lewis down the right hand side. Needs a good ball into the box. It's headed away. It'll fall to Lewis Reed. Steers it for George Williams. Williams on his left foot, looking to shoot against his former club. Nichols into the box. Here's Davis Keeler-Dunn. Just took too long, did Mansfield. They had a lot of space on the edge of the MK Dons area as Mansfield trying to win it back again, but it's a side challenge from Williams. Referee line play to go on, and off goes Alex Gilby. And Gilby with a lovely touch into the area. He goes, strikes it low. Christy Pym gathers, does really well there. In fact, it was Dean who got in the left-hand channel. It was a great touch from him. No sign of his injury there, that is for sure. Christy Pym equal to it.
No, on his weaker side though, so I think Aidan Flynn did well there. He just kept him on his left-hand side, gave him no option to cut in, and it was a fairly tame shot in the end into Pym's hand. So it was good bit defended by Flynn.
Long kick from Christy Pym, one for Nichols to win. So it's headed away. Mansfield trying to win the second ball on halfway. Up down to Lewis Reed. Williams just being encouraged to boot it over the shoulder. Does exactly that. Goes out of play for a MK Dons throw. And they're going to make their first change of the afternoon. And
Williams has just been booked as well for when they went through. He made a tackle on the halfway line, but a bit late, and so he's just been booked.
You'd imagine that he'll be coming off very shortly. McLaughlin will be making his way onto the field of play. Meanwhile, Dean Lewington is coming off. An attacker for a defender. These guys are going to go for it.
Yeah, they have to, don't they? This is their season hinging on this. So they've got to throw the kitchen sink at it. So Stags, they go keep that concentration levels high. Extra man to contend with with the back four now. So maybe Reed sitting a little bit deeper, making sure he's the extra man giving support there to the back four.
The ball booted downfield again by MK Dons. One for Ellis Harrison to win, which he does extremely well. Heads it on to Alex Gilby. Across it goes to the left-hand side in towards Max Dean. Trying to have a back heel, but it's given straight to Lewis Bate. Bate down the line to Harvey. One more needed down the left-hand side again for Max Dean. He's sort of drifting out to the left-hand side. Here is Bate again, on loan from Leeds. Here's Alex Gilby, on loan from Charlton. Across to Kyron Lofthouse, on loan from Barnsley. The MK loans as it's back to Alex Gilby, wearing the captain's armband as well, I think. After picking it up from Dean Lewington. Ball into the channel, read by Lewis Reed, who clears his lines. Not very far though, as this
really textbook by Stags, how they're defending there. Just covering the central part of the goal and things.
Oh, that's a lovely ball.
Oh, excellent.
Lovely ball from Davis Killadon to Hiram Boateng at the moment. Mansfield are just trying to keep hold of it as Nichols does really well, using his strength back to Reed. Davis Killadon wanted it, but it's given away as George Williams steps in and might have to go down the line. He runs into trouble here as this time Barry steps in and clears that one down the line. This time Tom Nichols trying to get there first, but Maris keeps it in play. It's battle heavy in the midfield at the moment. Neither side looking to blink as they switch the play to MK Dons. Left hand side again for Max Dean to strike, and it's past Christy Pym, and thankfully past Christy Pym's right hand post. Doesn't beat him this time, but he was close. And it stays 2-1.
Yeah, I'd be fairly happy with that. I think if you're stopping them at hitting shots from 25 yards, 22, 25 yards, I'm fairly happy with that. You never know, they might, sometimes they go in, but it's more often than not they don't. So I think Mansfield are defending fantastically well at the minute. They seem really compact, and they seem to know what they're doing. And at the minute, it's touch wood, it is a perfect away performance.
So far so good. The ball flicked on by Davis Keeler-Dunn. Stephen McLaughlin is getting ready to come on. You'd imagine George Williams on a yellow card will be the man to make way as it's sent high via his head. This time Ellis Harrison doesn't beat Aidan Flint in the air as it's down the line to Hiram Boateng. Drifts in field. Here's Lewis Reed across to Lucas Akins. It wasn't the right ball and hooked clear before Akins could get there. Here is Max Dean, and Dean just looking to switch the play over to the right hand side. Tom Nichols trying to get there first ahead of Kyron Lofthouse. Hits it against Tom Nichols, and it's great stuff from him.
Brilliant work, Tom Nichols. He's covered a lot of ground since he's come on. He's done really well.
Well, Nigel Clough trying to get the attention of the fourth official, gets ready to hand over his sheet. And McLaughlin will be on shortly. Meanwhile, goals galore also at Westcott Stadium. Notts County leading by 3-1. As off goes Kyron Lofthouse, gets past Lewis Reed. George Williams needs to be careful, he's on a yellow card here. Nigel Clough needs to get him off the pitch as the ball into the penalty area towards Harrison as he loops that one up in the air. It bounced right in front of him just outside the 6-yard box, and he skies that one out of play for a goal kick. Let off.
Yeah, that's a tough one to take for the striker. It was bouncing through, and I even think Aidan Flynn got a little touch on it on his toe on it there, just to divert it onto his knee. So yeah, but it's a little bit worrying that, but as you say, I think MK Dons are gonna have that. They're gonna have that pressure, and Stags are gonna have to sit in and be able to defend that box, which they're doing really well. And they're gonna concede some chances, but you got to just get your body in the right place and it in response to where the ball is, and hopefully get yourself in front of it. But they're doing everything right so far. You just got to keep going, keep digging in.
McLaughlin comes on, replacing George Williams, who, to be fair to the MK Dons fans, did give him a good standing ovation as well. He's much loved here.
He's performed really, defensively he's done really well actually.
Had a tough task to defend against Kyron Lofthouse, that is for sure.
But kept him fairly quiet though, so he's done his job.
Done his job indeed, and now he can put his feet up and watch the remaining games, probably through his hands, I'd imagine, as it's back at the feet of Hiram Boateng. Lofted forward for Davis Keeler-Dunn down the right hand side, who was offside, and it goes for a MK Dons free kick. Taken quickly, infield to Jack Tucker. Tucker back, sends it through, although Jordan Barry steps in and wins it back. Here's Hiram Boateng, Tom Nichols, edge of the area, back in towards Hiram Boateng against his former club, steers it goalwards, goes to ground, nothing given by the referee. Mansfield causing problems. One or two players colliding as the referee very quickly waves on the officials. Ball was there to be won, I think, but Hiram Boateng clattered into Michael Kelly.
I did see him move.
And I think he'll be okay.
Hopefully. Touch wood, but I did see him move, which is a good sign.
It's Michael Kelly receiving treatment. Boateng's very quickly to his feet.
Bowery did fantastically well. Like the second goal, was really brave, really stepping in on his marker, getting the ball in front of him, and then when he's won it back, Boateng's receives the ball in the 18-yard box, plays the ball to Nichols, who did a great reverse ball back to him, but then the keeper was really brave, and it was 50-50, and spilled the ball in the end. But he come off worse, the keeper there. Unfortunate.
Slowly getting back to his feet, just getting one or two bits of treatment. While that is going on, let's have another roundup of the League Two scores. Both ends of the table, of course, plenty to play for this afternoon. As we look in League Two, Notts County leading 3-1 away at Walsall. Colchester beating Crawley by 3-1. Grimsby beating Crewe by 2-1 as well. Two big results away from home for those two. Doncaster beating Accrington 4-0. Stags play them next. Accrington, that is. Gillingham 2. Barrow. So all the teams below Mansfield in the playoff places are losing,
which is good.
A good sign.
Yeah.
Mansfield winning, of course, by 2-1. Tranmere beating Newport away at 2-1. Salford 1, Bradford 1. Stockport leading Morecambe by 2-0. You'd imagine, if it stays as it is, they're up. Meanwhile, Wrexham, they'll be up as well if things stay as they are. They're beating Forest Green by 5-0. It's ball headed down by Stephen McLaughlin. Good challenge coming in from Maris, or maybe not actually. Jack Payne feeling that one, and it'll be a free kick to MK Dons. As you can hear the Stags fans making plenty of noise. They know they're close. They've got just under 14 minutes to go to see this one out if they can. MK Dons are going to throw everything at it.
There's a real urgency to their play now. Every time there's a free kick, they're trying to do it really, really quickly.
Ball played down the line for it's a nice touch. It's just in front of Max Dean, and he holds his head in his hands as it's played through by Ellis Harrison through the legs of Lucas Akins, and Dean would have been in there.
He would have been, but fortunately for us, it evaded him.
Thankfully, Mansfield right in there, look a little bit with some of the touches from MK Dons. Bit of nerves around them as Ellis Harrison wins the header. Aaron Lewis steps in and hooks that one forward for Hiram Boateng, who takes the touch and just runs down the right hand side, drops the shoulder and turns and finds Lucas Akins. Mansfield just happy to keep hold of the ball for now as Akins steers that one forward. It was in front of Tom Nichols and behind Maris also. Didn't want it there. As Akins trying to win the ball back as he runs into his man, and off goes Max Dean into the penalty area again down the left hand side. Gilby wants it, but it's back to Lewis Bate. Bate with the low strike deflects away from Jordan Barry. It will come back out to Max Dean on the edge of the box. Gareth Jellyman telling them all to get out. They need to here.
Bowery was just a bit deeper than the rest.
Coach Jellyman as it's down the left hand side again, sent into the box. Ellis Harrison heads it up in the air. McLaughlin should get there, and he does exactly that, but Lysel's flag goes up anyway, and Kyron Lofthouse would have been offside. On comes Dan Kemp.
Here we go.
For MK Dons, 19 goals this season. Wow. Davis Keeler-Dunn has already hit double figures in number 20. Interesting to see who comes off. Hopefully it's Max Dean.
Because he has been a thorn in Mansfield's side so far.
And he did pick up that injury earlier, so
exactly.
If I was Mike Williamson, I'd take him off.
Take him off, exactly.
Here's hoping. Christy Pym then with the free kick. Big boot downfield, down towards the left hand side for Tom Nichols to try and win. A bit of shirt pulling going on between the pair of them, between him and Jack Tucker, but Davis Keeler-Dunn making sure they stay pinned in. Nichols does really well to go around the back and win a throw. Brilliant. Huge roar comes from the away end as well.
It gives you such a lift that when you see that happening, your teammate doing that. It looks like he's got no right to win it. It looks like it's going to be a nice throw-in for MK Dons, but he manages to win a throw-in in the final third for your team. What a big lift that is.
Jack Payne, the Charlton loanee, coming off. Dan Kemp coming on, who was on loan at Swindon earlier this season. 14 goals he scored, including one against Mansfield, I think. And he's now on to 19 for the season. The former Hartlepool man also, as the throw comes down the line to George Maris, to McLaughlin by the corner flag, dinks the ball into the area. That one goes high and stays in play, and eventually Stephen Wayne will clear it up towards Dan Kemp, who takes a very heavy touch. Will put that down to low. Great challenge from Lewis Reid, though actually I thought he'd gone out of play for a Stags throw. Meanwhile Colchester have got another goal, so I thought it was 4-1, but now it's 3-1, so I think goal chalked off, but they lead Crawley by 3-1. Crewe, Barrow and Crawley all below Mansfield, all losing as it's headed away by Aidan Flint. Needed to get that one right as it's slowly ticking over to the 80th minute of the game here at Stadium MK. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. So far so good for Mansfield Town. They lead MK Dons by 2-1 and could go 5 points clear of third, with the game in hand on third, with 3 games to play. Huge game, huge afternoon as it's down the line from McLaughlin to Davis Keeler-Dunn, who can try and run at his man here as he looks for a yellow shirt. Davis Keeler-Dunn still has it and rolls it nicely in towards Maris, edge of the penalty area. He's got Hiram Boateng to his right. Here is Hiram Boateng down the right hand side, needs a good ball into the box if he can pick somebody out. Here's Davis Keeler-Dunn looking to turn, pulls it back towards Boateng, but it's well read in the end by the MK Dons defender, and now off they go, all in white, a white surge heading towards the Mansfield Town penalty area. Not quite though, as it's played back to Lewis Bate on halfway. Cool, calm and collected at the moment at MK Dons, despite being 2-1 down, and their automatic promotion places are hanging on by a thread, it seems, but a long way to go yet in this game. 10 minutes of it left. Stags leading by 2-1.
Yeah, it's going to be the longest 10 minutes as well for Stags play. Well, for both. Well, for Stags players definitely.
Long kick forward, headed away by Aidan Flint.
Nice commanding header by Flint there.
Need to be more commanding as well as Steve McLaughlin goes to ground as Jordan Barry taking no chances there. McLaughlin landed awkwardly on his back. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And the throw comes short from Kyron Lofthouse in towards Dan Kemp. Lofthouse has it just in front of us here down the right hand side. Back it goes again as it's with Lewis Bates, who's done really well actually with plenty of energy. It's rolled in towards Kemp, ball across the face of goal. Maris tracked him and it goes out of play.
There's
for
that
an MK Dons
concentration. If he just switched off there, because it was a great little running behind him, but he was more than alert to that. So you just got to keep those concentration levels up, and it.
Really good play again from George Maris, just to stick a boot out. He's had a tough time as George Maris personally, with a close bereavement in the family, and it's great to see him back out there. Plenty of concentration.
Sometimes the best place for you on that pitch. All them thoughts.
Indeed. Great to see him back and playing a major part.
Yeah.
This afternoon, 9 minutes to go. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham. 2-1 to Stags. That part I can't stress enough as Nichols wins it back. He looks to play that one through to Lewis Reed. Lewis Reed and Davis Keeler-Dunn both left it. And now here come MK Dons again, but then they leave it. And then off goes Mansfield with Nichols over halfway. Nobody near him though, unfortunately. It's just Nichols on his own. Nichols versus MK Dons. Here's Hiram Boateng against his former club. Aikens
I just
down
don't think
the line.
they want to commit themselves too much, but here we go. This
Great
is
ball
opening up
towards Tom Nichols. Right hand side, needs to pull it across the area towards Reed. Steering it goalwards. Can he keep it in play? No, he can't. And it goes out of play for a goal kick.
What a chance.
Needed a better touch there.
He was on his
fired
own
into him into space, and you'd fancy Reed from there to take the touch and finish the game off.
6 yard box. He was in the 6 yard box on his own there. First touch, he took it out for a goal kick.
You know what's encouraging? Christy Pym has not had a save to make all game.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think they've defended resolutely. They've been fantastic so far.
Aidan Flint with the header up in the air. Maris should win it, but he falls to Ellis Harrison, who's trying to turn past Aidan Flint. This time Maris stepping in to try and win it, but Ellis Harrison is quick.
He's done really well, Harrison. He's a real physical presence.
Here's Lewis Bate, who scored twice against Notts County in the 3-3 draw at Meadow Lane there, thanks to Aaron DeMann for making sure MK Dons didn't get any more points, but now off they go again down the left hand side, ball into the area. There is Harrison. It steers it back this time. Maris again defending resolutely at that back post. As Ellis Harrison is starting to cause one or two problems. Coming off the bench, here's Dan Kemp, another one off the bench, rolls it into the edge of the penalty area. Maris there again, heading away, needs to just boot this one clear, and he does exactly that, just cushions that one nicely down the line, and Tom Nichols unable to keep it in play. Not
great
to go.
Defending there at the back stick, Maris there.
It's like somebody's slowed the clock down on the scoreboard. It's like, get to 90 minutes faster, please. Long way to go yet in this game. 7 to go. Stags leading by 2-1. Hugely significant as Mansfield Town fans trying to sing their fans over the line. Good foul from Hiram Boateng. Had to get that right against his former club. He'll get booked for that. But
that's good play. But as Harrison again, he's been a real focal point for it since he's come on. He's, as I say, he's a physical presence. He's putting himself about. He's getting in front of Bowery and Flint, and good set of play by him there. 1-2 round the corner. Boateng, good professional foul, bringing him down at about. Do you reckon 40 yards out?
Well, probably, like 35, 40 yards or so. I mean, Dan Kemp, we know what he's like from set pieces. He used to, thrash them in for Hartlepool from this sort of distance.
Wow, this is a long way out.
It's a bit of a nervy one. Anyone else, and you'd be thinking, okay, they're not going to shoot, but this is Dan Kemp, who's got it in his locker.
Yeah, it's quite a deep line. I'd try and move him up another few yards, but
6 to go. Tense moment. Free kick to MK Dons. 35 yards from goal, at least. Left-footed Dan Kemp as he looks to fire that one into the power. Oh dear me! Wow, that one's gone high and even higher into the top echelons of the of Stadium MK.
That was wild.
I mean, that was rugby-like.
That
almost.
was,
yeah. Extra couple of points there. Meanwhile, James Gale is going to come on for the Stags. Final change made by Nigel Clough. He's going to save
Boateng,
Stephen Quinn.
Who's he going to bring off?
I think Boateng will come off.
He just had a booking, hasn't he? So
yeah, I think it's just a case of Boateng coming off.
Yeah.
And James Gale coming off.
Good decision.
Coming on, rather. Good decision made by Nigel Clough, who has to say has managed it
really
well.
He's done fantastically well, yeah.
A few eyebrows raised over the team selection, but it's proved its work as Hiram Boateng against his former club. Comes off the field of play. Applause to Stags fans. He's put in another heck of a shift. And James Gale will come on for the final 5 minutes plus stoppage time, and a big 5 minutes it is. It's tense.
It really is.
Tense.
That's 5.
Goal kick to be taken by Christy Pym, wearing all pink, and he'll start to deploy all the underhand tactics and taking just those extra couple of seconds as he sends that one dead centrally just towards the left hand side. Sort of veered out thanks to the wind as Barry heads the ball up in the air. And this is just a case now, Gareth, of just doing the dirty work.
It really is. This is what it's all about. You just dig in, there you go, put your foot through it, eat up the minutes as much as you can, get yourself in a good position, constantly goal side of your man, don't let any runner go in behind you. That's all it is. Concentration levels.
Bit of nervousness about Stadium MK, but not from a Stags perspective. They know what they need to do. It's just very much a case of keeping hold of the ball and making sure MK can't get anywhere near the Stags goal, which at the moment they are not. They're in the left back position through Daniel Harvey. Back it goes to Jack Tucker with a high diagonal ball. That will go over Aaron Lewis. It's cushioned well by Ellis Harrison, but McLaughlin plays that one down the line to James Gale, who looks to turn and go past his man. He's done well here, James Gale, who dinks that one. Oh dear, he was wanting the run from Tom Nichols, who was trying to be a bit too intricate.
Yeah,
James Gale did the hard bit
so well, didn't he? Get inside him, and he just needs to play a nice little ball, lend it off, and then get in behind him.
Long kick coming from MK Dons. Hayden Flint just giving his man a big shove in the back, just saying, no, you're not getting past me today, mate. Although he already has done, has Max Dean, although Christy Pym just happy to let that one roll towards his feet, and that's already wasted nearly 2 minutes as we edge closer to the 90. Match day from BBC Radio Nottingham, 95.5 FM. MK Dons 1, Mansfield Town 2. The end is near. The end is nigh.
The fans can see it, can sense it.
All of the
Stags fans, here we go.
You can hear them.
Yeah, great atmosphere in the place.
The long kick from Christy Pym onto the feet of Tom Nichols. A bit of afters going on here with Aaron Lewis and one or two others. A bit of a scrap going on here. Steve McLaughlin stepping in and pulling Aaron Lewis away.
They were through there as well. Stags were through.
Aidan Flint very quick to defuse the situation. Also, it very nearly boiled over, but I think Aaron Lewis and Ellis Harrison, well, they're going to have a word with the referee, that is for sure. It'll be interesting to see what the official saw on this near side. One or two shouts of off coming from from the away end and from the home end as well, as the referee, Ben Speedy, is going to have a word with both of them. Ellis Harrison pleading his case, as is Aaron Lewis. Steve McLaughlin sort of playing peacemaker. Referee's got a yellow card in his hand, and you'd imagine sensible refereeing. Oh, actually, hang on a minute.
Yeah, he was over the top of Lewis, so I reckon
he's got a yellow card for Aaron Lewis here, and it'll be a yellow card for Alex Gilby also. So yellow card for Aaron Lewis and a yellow card for Alex Gilby.
There, because Stags were in control, just entering the final third. It was a great little ball over. Nichols took her on his chest and played one over his shoulder into Gale's feet, and it looked pretty much 2v2.
Well, just been given the attendance very quickly, although actually it was just flashed in front of my face, so I think 11,212 I very quickly wrote down, could be wrong, but over 3,500 Stags fans making plenty of noise. Good play from James Gale, but a free kick has been given. Oh dear me, a free kick has been given in MK Don's favour. Nigel Clough very quickly out of his technical area, pleading his case, saying what on earth was that. Very unhappy is Nigel Clough, and understandably so. And then the goalkeeper's thrown the ball about 3 or 4 yards in front of him, and the referee, quite rightly, is saying, get back.
Yeah, kill a few more minutes. Good.
MK Dons, all of a sudden, with the game not going their way now, there's a bit more urgency about them. It's going to be a yellow card coming towards, I think that might be Matthew Kelly.
Have to take it back again.
He's going to have to take it even further back, and the referee,
see where it
is saying to him,
yeah,
you can see where the foul's from.
You can see the mark on the floor, can't you?
Yeah,
There you go.
30 seconds to go, plus stoppage time. There'll probably be quite a bit, actually, with some of the altercations going on, but Mansfield need to see this one out. MK Dons need to score twice as the ball headed away by Reed up towards Maris as he tries to loft that one over. James Gale getting there first, turning and sending it over top for Davis Keeler-Dunn. And Keeler-Dunn could be in here, possibly to kill the game. Here is Keeler-Dunn. Yes! Davis Keeler-Dunn, goal number 21. Mansfield lead by 3 goals to 1. Game over. Season over possibly for MK Dons, and Mansfield Town take a giant leap towards automatic promotion. They've done it here. They've exercised the ghosts of 5 years ago. A 2-goal cushion. Fantastic stuff as the away fans go absolutely ballistic. 3,500 plus going mental. There's flying bananas, scarves, fans all over the shop. Great finish from Davis Keeler-Dunn. 21 goals for the season, 2 hugely important goals here. He's killed the game and given Mansfield a huge step towards the top 3 and League One. MK Dons 1, Mansfield Town 3.
Cometh the hour, cometh the man. There we go. What an amazing ball by Gale. He's took it on his chest and he's, with the outside of his foot, put it over the full-back's head, and Keeler-Dunn had already telegraphed it. He was already on his way, and he's got himself into the box. He still had a lot to do, but if you want anyone in that team to be in that position, you want Keeler-Dunn, and he's done what he's done all season. So calm, and placed it into the corner of the net from an acute angle. Fantastic, and what they deserve. They really dug in from going 1-0 behind at the start of the game, looking like they're not really in it, and you know that just that switch, and from then on they've executed their game plan absolutely magnificently, tactically, man-to-man, brilliantly.
What a sight that is. There's fans on the
that was unreal, wasn't it?
Incredible to watch. We're looking forward to full time, and off we go again. Mansfield as Davis Keeler-Dunn could go through here as he's still got it. Keeler-Dunn in towards James Gale on his right foot. It's raining goals in Milton Keynes. Look at the bench. Nigel Clough is going absolutely mental. The players are running onto the field of play. It's 4-1 to Mansfield Town. Gale with his 3rd goal of the season. The fans have spilled over onto the advertising hoardings. The Stags bench is emptied. Stephen Quinn is hugging Andy Garner. Stags players in that far corner hugging the players, stewards, fans. My word, Mansfield Town with the ultimate away day, and they've done it at the place where there was so much heartbreak 5 years ago today. Not anymore. It's ecstasy. It's fantastic. It's Mansfield Town's day here in Milton Keynes. They lead MK Dons by 4 goals to 1.
And Keeler-Dunn's just repaid James Gale there again. Obviously there's gaps appearing now as they throw in their men forward, but Keeler-Dunn's picked up the ball and he's played a fantastic ball through to James Gale, but he took one touch, and I think just how early he's took it is a wrong foot the goalkeeper, and it's whipped into the far corner. What a goal. And the scenes are unbelievable. I think they call it limbs, don't they? Is that what they call it?
Limbs indeed.
Look at that, that's amazing.
Limbs and then some, and you can hear the noise around Stadium MK. I nearly called it the One Call Stadium then. It sounded like it, that is for sure. Just watching the ball rolling over, there's a big black sheet that's stopping fans
getting into the
It's
ground.
not stopped them at all.
Not at all. They're on there, aren't they? Look at,
it's almost turned into a big black slide.
Yeah, and MK Don seem to be, the fans seem to be escaping.
Off they go again, and off goes Davis Keeler-Dunn. Could it be 5? Here is Davis Keeler-Dunn, left-footed strike deflected, goes out of play for a corner kick. It's raining goals. MK Dons have just completely capitulated and fallen apart, and Mansfield Town are absolutely punishing them. Great scenes on the bench as well. Nigel Clough, I've never seen him move like that.
So animated, wasn't he? But as we said it earlier, it seems that it's the perfect away performance. They've just executed their plan perfectly.
There was 8 minutes of stoppage time, by the way, added on. We're 3.5 minutes into it. Yeah,
I don't think I could take it.
The ball deflects off Tom Nichols. In fact, it comes off Ellis Harrison, but Mansfield Town are home and dry. 3 points in the bag. A 4-1 possibly away win for the Stags. promotion is very much well within their sights. As the throw comes short to James Gale. So it's back to George Maris to flex away, and it's now all about wasting the time and seeing it over the line. Cue the mass ecstasy over on that far side.
Such scenes, amazing scenes.
Terrific
really
stuff
is.
As it's back with George Maris, hooks that one forward, but it's going to be cleared away. This time Ellis Harrison trying to get there ahead of Lewis Reed. This time Steve McLaughlin battling away and hooking that one clear, but it goes out of play for an MK Dons throw. And the Stags bench not actually giving them the ball back. The ball boy very quickly giving the ball back to Ellis Harrison. You can see Lewis Brunt, Alfie Kilgore, Rhys Oates all there as well. I think they were amongst the celebrations as well.
They were up, weren't they?
I hope Rhys Oates' knee's okay.
Yeah.
He's just had it operated on. The long kick headed away by Aidan Flint, flicked on by George Maris, pushing down nicely as James Gale trying to get there, but it's back with the goalkeeper. It's a heavy touch from him and nearly gives it away. So it's back with Jack Tucker. Big boot downfield as it's going to be a free kick to Mansfield Town on halfway. I can't stop looking at these scenes.
I know, they're amazing.
It's terrific. It is something special over there. I wish you could see it back at home. There's been literally, there's
it's
a
bouncing.
sea.
It is literally bouncing. The whole stand's bouncing.
I mean, if they had 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 tickets, they'd have sold. Absolutely. Especially today. Especially today. Here's Aidan Flint, long kick forward as he sends that one towards James Gale, cushions that one nicely down for Tom Nichols, who turns and finds Gale, who keeps it in play, does well and managed to roll over the ball and let that one go for a Stags throw. We've played 5 minutes of the 8 minutes added on. 2 goals in stoppage time, making Stags home and dry as it's back to Tom Nichols again. Here's Maris cutting past his man, goes to ground and gets a free kick. That should be a yellow card, I think, as well for Ellis Harrison. I think the referee's going to jog over and book him for it, but you can hear it. You can hear it. They know they're close. Well, they know they're there. They know they're there. It'll take something miraculous for MK Dons now to get something from this game, that is for sure. But all focus now turns to Tuesday night.
Tuesday night it is, isn't it?
A draw might just do it, you know.
It could do. Could really do it.
Free kick to Mansfield Town. Left-hand side. Tom Nichols and George Maris standing over it. Nichols barely grazes the ball with his studs. Although actually I think it's going to be retaken.
Kill the game a little bit
right by the corner flag. I think the wall wasn't far enough. At the moment MK Dons are just the stewards are still trying to get fans back to where they toppled over and rolled down the hill as the ball sent in by Maris, cleared away, and it'll go out of play for another throw. We've got just over a minute and a half of the 8 minutes of added time. You want to take a photo of this and keep hold of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
great scene.
The image is a big stand away to our left-hand side, mostly full of Mansfield Town fans, a sea of yellow and blue as the ball deflects in the air off a MK Dons man and goes out of play for Stags' first corner of the day.
Is it really?
It is.
Wow.
Quite incredible.
It is, isn't it? There you go. Just don't commit.
As Maris just takes the ball short to Tom Nichols, gets the return ball, a bit casual for Mansfield Town now. Maris goes ground and gets a free kick. They can take them all day long. But you look at the scene over on the far side. I know I keep mentioning it, but it's just great to see. Great to see. They're having their day.
Yeah, scarves getting swung around. As you say, the bananas are going literally bananas.
There's people without their tops on, maybe who shouldn't, but who cares?
Yeah. What a sight.
Put yours back on, Gareth. Free kick to Mansfield Town, left-hand side. We've played nearly 8 minutes of stoppage time as Nichols fires that one in towards James Gale. It goes to ground, and that should go out of play for a goal kick. Maybe not. Mansfield still tussling away with it, trying to keep hold of it, and it will be a free kick to Mansfield Town. We've played the 8 minutes of stoppage time. And once this ball has been kicked, you would like to think that the referee Ben Speedy will blow his whistle and see this game out and see Stags over the line. Wrexham have beaten Forest Green by 6-0. We will get reaction, by the way, from Nigel Clough and from all around the country on a momentous day for the Stags. It's finished Forest 2, Wolves 2. We'll be heading there very shortly to catch up with Charlie Slater and the gang. Hopefully that point will be enough. Fingers crossed. Long way to go in that season, not one to go in this season. 3 games to go after this, but Mansfield Town are third with a 5-point gap on fourth and a game in hand. Could this be their year? Here's Maris, dinks it into the penalty area, in towards James Gale. It will turn onto the edge of the box, goes to ground, and it's a free kick the other way.
I think, I'm not being funny, but I think Stags have just kept the ball in that corner for about 5 minutes.
I think they have.
5 minutes.
I generally
How
think they have.
professional is that? Do you know, to be able to do that, just to kill a game?
You can hear the
That's
noise
brilliant.
from around the One Call Stadium. No, it's not. It's Stadium MK. I knew I'd do it.
Delirium setting in.
Long kick coming. Referee blows his whistle. Full time. Stags have done it. Stags have done it. A huge win at Stadium MK. Adam Collin punches the air, as does Alfie Kilgore, Will Swan and the others. The players hunched over. They fall to their knees. A huge effort from Mansfield Town as they go one step closer to the top three. They're in the top three. They just need to stay there now. The simple task falls on Tuesday night, but they've beaten MK Dons by 4-1. That was some task in itself. What an away day. 2 goals for Davis Keeler-Dunn, 1 goal for Elliot Hewitt, and a goal for James Gale also. 4-1 they've finished, Gareth Jellyman.
Yeah, I think that will become the defining moment of the season, hopefully after Tuesday, because it's a tough, well, we know how tough this place is to come in, and they are such a good team, as we've seen since Williamson's came in. He's got them so well drilled. Their midfield three are a little bit like Barcelona, well, a little bit. They're small, diminutive midfielders, but they get themselves around, get themselves in some fantastic positions. They're such a good team. The Stags took a while for them to figure it out, but when they did, when they realised they need to put pressure on, they were thoroughly professional and imposed their game upon MK Dons, and over the course of the game they got more and more chances, and I just say we've seen how clinical they have been this season, and they were today. What a fantastic performance.
Great day. More from Gareth Jellyman between 5 and 6 o'clock on BBC Radio Nottingham on a momentous day here at Stadium MK. Hiram Boateng pulling the ball across for Elliot Hewitt to equalise. Then Davis Keeler-Dunn off the bench, latching onto some good balls and firing Mansfield 3-1 in front, and then turning provider for James Gale for the icing on the cake. What a day here. It's finished. MK Dons 1, Mansfield Town 4.
Oh, what a